Well, a very good morning. Welcome to YouGarden TV. It's so good to be here. My name is Charlie, and we may not have met. It's my first show here. I'm so excited to be here. I hope you like it too. Well, we're here with our lovely Adam. Adam, good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Charlie. How are you doing? We've known each other from the past. We've known each other from lots of different places in the past. So good to be with you today.
We've shared many cups of tea and coffee in some green rooms. We've passed each other on many corridors. It's finally good to have a show with you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, good. Yeah, looking forward to it. So, yeah
we've got a good variety, haven't we? I've been pestering Adam all morning. You've given me so many good advice and tips for my garden already. I really appreciate it, I do.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
John, we've got so much to learn. We've got such a good variety. Do you know what? If you are new to YouGarden TV like myself, then don't forget, you can watch us here every single Thursday and Sunday morning. We're here actually until 12:30 this afternoon, so we've got lots of fun, lots to go through. But I know the guys here, they're saying they love your interaction, so I'm really looking forward to get to know you guys. We've got YouTube up already. Hello to Bill, to Neil, to Woodfield, to Keith, to Becky. Thank you so much to all of you who are watching already. We love to get your comments in. Now, if you are new to YouGarden, well, I've been reading all about the YouGarden Discount Club. It's a fantastic way to get great savings. Here it is. At the moment, it's on a special offer. So if you go for the auto renewal yearly subscription, it's £10 for the year. That's going to give you 15% off plants and accessories. It's also going to give you 7.5% off outdoor living and machinery, and you get £20 worth in product vouchers. Four £5 vouchers across the year. That is fantastic. You also get, of course, the 2 free P&P vouchers, so it's well worth becoming a YouGarden Discount Club member. You can join right today on the website, yougarden.com. You know what? Talking about savings, I've been learning about these codes. You can get good deals, can't you?
You get brilliant deals. I mean, we do double ups, we do buy one, get one free sometimes. Yeah, we've got the free P&P, we've got lots and lots of different offers. You just need to enter that magic code, and it makes all those things happen.
There it is, there's the magic code. The famous magic code. So there it is. YGTV 2425. So just before you check out your baskets on yougarden.com, add in the code, you get free postage and packaging. That is amazing on deals, and we got lots of them on this live show. So make sure you type that in, save money on your postage and your packaging. But yeah, email us in too if you've got any questions. I can pass them on for Adam for you. It's ygtv@yougarden.com. That's ygtv@yougarden.com for your email address. We love pictures. People send in lots of photos.
Yeah, I tell you, Charlie, we've had some most brilliant pictures this year. Things they've bought from us, the other things they've grown.
Wow.
Pictures of raised beds, of ponds, of planters. Yeah, we love it. I mean, it's really good being nosy.
Yes.
And kind of looking at other people's gardens, seeing what's good, seeing what you're growing. We like to see your fruit, your flowers, your vegetables. And that's what we do at YouGarden. We have this lovely kind of interaction.
Yes, nice community spirit to this year.
And everybody sort of chats to each other in the chat as well, and gives each other advice. So it's got a really nice sort of Sunday morning, chilled out gardening vibe to it.
This is the perfect time for gardening show, and don't forget you can watch us here every Thursday morning too. But Sunday, cup of tea in the garden, have a potter. Oh, it's a lovely time for gardening. But yeah, share your inspiration. Everyone shares and inspires each other when it comes to gardening, don't they? Well, we're talking about the website. Let's take a look at it. Again, this is yougarden.com. So you can watch us live here, just on the button down the top right hand corner. You can watch us on Facebook. You can watch us, of course, on YouTube. And here is everything in the show. So click live now. You can watch us there as you're ordering, and here are all of the live deals, the special deals we've got for you here today. We're so pleased to have this. I mean, we've got everything from burst pops of colour to shrubs to all sorts.
We've got things you can eat, we've got plants for shade, we've got plants for full sun, we've got plants that are fragrant, we've got ground cover, we've got climbers, we've got roses, we've got shrubs, soft fruit. I mean, basically we're covering all bases. We've got a fantastic compost, we've got our stroach, we've got loads and loads of different things. We've got some gorgeous pots as well. So yeah, the whole gambit, to be honest.
Yeah, we have. Do you know, I did one show here on TikTok a few weeks ago. I've already become a bit of a compost snob. Can I say that?
Yeah. By all means, be a compost snob. We want you to be a compost snob.
Absolutely. Join us in the compost snobbery, because it is fantastic. You can buy that and you can shop ahead. Well, should we go to the famous favourites table? Should we go and have a look?
Yeah, and hopefully we've kind of got the favourites right, because we don't always get it right, Charlie. Sometimes we think these are going to be the favourites, and you prove us wrong.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. But
let's see how it goes.
Beautiful lineup along here today.
Well, we're starting off with the Geums, aren't we?
Yeah, and the Geums are gorgeous. These are really, really easy to grow plants. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to whip one out the pot straight away, because it's always the amazing root system on our plants. That is what we call a rooty beauty. And look at that. I mean, this is why you get such fantastic results. We grow our plants in that professional compost, and when you start off with a fabulous root system like that, you're not going to go wrong with the top part of the plant. These are really, really gorgeous Geums. This is a super double one called Orange Pumpkin. You can see why.
Yes.
You look at the shape of the flowers. They're actually related to the Buttercup family. So they like kind of a damp sort of soil. They'll grow in part shade, they'll grow in part sun.
So for your beds, your borders?
Yeah, well, you were saying you've got raised beds in your garden. These would be lovely at the edge of a raised bed, for example, because the leaves would just kind of tumble over the edge of the raised bed a little bit. You get these lovely rigid stems, and you just get masses and masses of these beautiful, super double, really vibrant orange flowers for a long period of time. They're flowering about now. They flower around about the Chelsea Flower Show time as well. If you cut them back after they've finished flowering, chances are they'll reshoot. They'll give you a second flush of flower a little later in the summer. Fantastic container plants, brilliant pot plants. Bone hardy, these, bone hardy. They'll come back year after year. Later in the year, in the autumn, the foliage dies down a little bit. Okay. Sometimes you just see a few little leaves left on these through the winter, but they'll sit quietly in the soil through the winter, taking the frost, taking the snow, the wind and the rain. Next spring, as the days lengthen, as the weather warms up, they'll explode back into bloom. And they will just give you masses and masses of these lovely compact flower spikes with these beautiful, beautiful orange flowers.
It's quite a fiery orange, isn't it? The little globes of colour. They're just so vibrant. They add quite a lot of energy to a garden, I think.
They do, and sometimes people do something called a hot garden, or a Mediterranean garden. So if you've got those fiery reds, the yellows, the oranges, these are really great.
Is that what they call it, a hot garden?
Yeah, a hot garden. You want that kind of hot feel. You want those really kind of in-your-face fiery colours. These will do it for you. But look at the leaves, really beautiful leaves on these as well, lovely ornate leaves. And the leaves are quite nice because they kind of form like a rosette at the base that sort of tend to hug the ground, and then the flowers stand on these lovely rigid stems above those, looking glorious, looking really, really pretty for a long, long time. And of course, when you've got a strong colour like orange as well, it gives you a chance to contrast that colour with other plants as well, if you want to.
Do you know, honestly, there's so much there. And for £19.79, that is brilliant, because ordinarily this would be £29.97. So you're saving £10, and of course you save even more if you are a member of the club. So it's £16.97, and please do use that offer code. Just type it in before you check out in the promotional box, and you get free postage and packaging. So that delivered for £16.97. Adam, that is fantastic.
It's phenomenal, because all you've got to do is press a few buttons. You don't need to leave your house. You get 3 of these fantastic plants. And also, what you need to remember is all our hardy plants come with a little snowflake symbol. So that basically means we give those plants a lifetime guarantee.
Right, wow.
Who else does that?
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
So whether it's a year, whether it's 5 years, whether it's 10 years, you will get that guarantee. So if you're a new gardener and you're thinking today, I kind of don't want to spend money on plants I'm not sure about, with all our hardy perennial plants, you've got that reassurance that if for whatever reason you lose them, we'll replace them for you. All you've got to do is just pay the P&P again, and we'll send you some fresh new plants.
You can't ask for fairer than that, can you? I haven't heard of that before.
I mean, you can imagine going back to sort of one of those sort of chain sort of garden centres 10 years' time and saying, well, I bought this from you back in 2025, and it's like, and it's died.
That's not happening.
It'll be like, on your way, on your way, but not with us.
Have you got your receipt? Well, no. Well, come on, help me. You know what? There we go. The Geums, for £19.79 would be, sorry, £90.97 would be great. But again, £16.97 is brilliant. Thanks for your comments, guys, on YouTube. We're going to read some more out shortly. If you have got any questions about any of this, email us in. Send us a photo. Let us know how your gardening's getting on this summer. It's ygtv@yougarden.com. Right, we've got the Petite Jenny next.
Yeah, these, we adore these. These
charming,
are actually,
aren't they?
Yeah, they are. That is the word for them, Charlie. They are charming. They're charming, they're elegant, they're really, really pretty. They're related to, there's a wildflower that grows in the UK in sort of damp meadows and near streams and ponds and places like that, and it's called ragged robin, and this is a relative of that. It's a Lychnis. It's a double flowering Lychnis, and it's just beautiful. These super double flower heads for a long period of time, and it's one of those plants a bit like the geum where the leaves kind of hug the ground. They form a lovely rosette at ground level. And those leaves can be semi-evergreen as well. And then sort of late spring, mid-spring into early summer, it sends up these beautiful spikes, nice rigid strong spikes, and you get these sort of fluffy gorgeous pink flowers on the top there. These are ours in their nursery. You know, this is, and we've got like an 11-acre site here. So all our plants are outside. They're growing outside. They're tough. They're strong. These are perennial, by the way. They'll come back for you year after year, no problem at all. And all these ask of you: Lychnis, Petite Jenny. They like sort of a damp kind of soil. So if you can give them, imagine a damp meadow kind of condition. If you can give them those sort of conditions, they'll be fine. So they like kind of nice damp roots, quite happy to have their flowers up in the sun. You could plant these in a damp lawn area if you wanted to. You can plant them in beds and borders. You can grow them in pots or containers. Easy, tough. And these here, I mean, they're already flowering now. Yeah. You can see, but look at that.
Quite wispy, they're beautiful.
Yeah, wispy, beautiful, and you've got loads more of these lovely shoots coming up just to continue that flower display for you. And it will be the usual story. We always like to whip things out the pot.
Yeah.
But these will be no different. I mean, I just know every time we get a plant out the pot here.
You want to see the roots, don't we?
Yeah, you've got that solid root system there. You can't actually sort of break compost off of there because that plant is so really kind of well established.
And we can plant them straight away.
Yeah, all these now, everything can go straight in the ground, plant them straight out. We're not going to get any more frosts now. So plant these and enjoy these for year after year after year. And there'll be one of those plants that people will ask you, they'll say, what is that gorgeous pink flower you've got in the garden? And you can just say to them, it's Lychnis Petite Jenny. And that's my mother-in-law, Jenny. And Jenny's quite petite, so if she's watching, lots of love, Jenny.
Is it named after Jenny?
Yeah.
Couldn't help it.
To get her one, really. But, yeah.
They are. The way they just, as you see there, they're just gently sway in the wind. There's something quite atmospheric about these. They're charming, utterly charming.
I think they'd be great to, if you sort of want to create, I mean, they're not strictly the native wildflower, but if you want to create that wildflower kind of garden feel, they would do that, and you'd have the bees and the insects sort of buzzing around these, and they just, as Charlie says, the flowers just gently sway in the breeze and look lovely.
They're stunning, aren't they? They're really gorgeous.
Oh, bless you. Oh, don't know where that came from.
Remember, it's the plants. We've got lots of them in here, as you'd imagine. So for £16.98, again, delivered for that price. Free postage packaging. Just make sure you add in that code YGTV2425 just before you check out. You can type in the item code on YouGarden.com, but to be honest, just click on the live deals in the top right-hand corner. Scroll down, you'll see everything Adam and I are going for just in front of you there. So it's really easy to shop with us. But the free postage and get the discounted price. If you're not a club member, you can pay to become one now. Do the auto-renew, £10 today, and you can start buying these discounted deals immediately. So do remember that.
That auto-renew thing's brilliant because as long as you don't let it lapse, then that stays the same price.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can keep renewing, and it will not go up as long as you don't let it lapse.
So I honestly think that could pay for itself so quickly,
easily,
can't it? Maybe in your first order, with the savings.
Yeah, we've seen examples of that, Charlie. We've created like baskets and stuff, and pretty much, on the first order, you can save that initial outlay, and then of course you're going to get that discount time and time again.
Yeah, you can, can't you? Honestly, your houses, your gardens are going to look beautiful this summer. So everything on the show we can plant straight away as soon as we get them home.
Everything today now can all go out. We're past the point where we have to say, just sort of keep them indoors for a bit, bring them in at night. We're mid-June now, almost the longest day. So get them home, get them in the ground. And one thing you might want to get home and get in the ground is definitely some of our soft fruit, because we're going to do like a sort of a lucky dip soft fruit collection for you here. So you're going to get 3 9-centimetre pots. And
so what sort of thing could we get then? We could get blackberries.
It could be blackberries. It could be black currants. It could be gooseberries.
Oh, your jams. Think of the jams you can make.
It could be red currants. I mean, it could be. There you go. So we've got this whole range. So it will be soft fruit. Oh, tayberry. That'd be nice if you got a tayberry.
Yeah.
Because they're a lovely cross. Tayberries are basically a cross between a blackberry and a raspberry. So you get the best of both worlds. You get big fruit, but you get super sweet fruit. So if you're into your soft fruit, And you want to have a little delve into growing your own homegrown, organic, if you want to, soft fruit. 3 9-centimetre pots there. Lovely root system on these. These aren't
They're
wiggly
quite
little things.
Aren't they?
Yeah,
Really?
we're not sending you out some sort of daft little 3 or 4 inch high things. These have been grown on, and again, if you whip any of them out of the pot, Charlie, look at that. I mean, that's even got a flower bud on there.
Yeah.
So that's already going to start.
This is a blackberry, for example. So you might be getting this one here.
Sometimes you've got to fight to get them out. Because
they're
that's such a good root system.
Here we go. I don't want to damage it.
I can tell by the sound of that that's going to have a good root system.
It is, isn't it?
It just doesn't want to come out the pot.
Here we go. I don't want to damage. You get the idea there.
Yeah, I mean that is a really, really well-established root system on there, and that blackberry has already got flower buds on. So you will get even blackberries now. So I mean we can't guarantee exactly which soft fruit you'll get, but that's part of the fun of it. That's the kind of the lucky dip. But you'll get 3 different varieties there, 3 different types. Who knows? You could be enjoying strawberries, you could be enjoying tayberries, you could be enjoying black currants, red currants.
So you can get a variety.
Yeah.
Because I can't make decisions at all, Adam. So basically, the fact you've got 3 different ones, that's like your fruit garden area sorted, isn't it? Really, in one order.
I like having fruit for breakfast, so everyone have yogurt and
bit of porridge, perhaps. Oats, granola.
I love it. Or your Weetabix, and you can put some fresh black currants on there. You could put some fresh tayberries on there, or you could use these. You could blitz them up in a milkshake or something like that.
Yeah, smoothies and things.
Smoothies,
you could.
as you say, make jams. You've got all these options, and all these fruit trees. They're not going to take up a huge amount of space. They just need an open, sunny position, some nice sort of rich soil. Perhaps incorporate some of our professional compost into the ground before you plant them, and just enjoy fruit, soft fruit. And when you grow your own fruit, your own soft fruit, it's nothing like what you buy in the supermarket.
I was going to ask that, because you know exactly what's gone into this. No preservatives. It's organic. And
precisely.
I think, honestly, Adam, it's the experience of going into your garden, maybe with a cup of tea in your hand, and just picking them as well. Maybe you're going to do it when your nephew comes around, when the grandkids come round. It's a family occasion. Picking maybe that first one, that first strawberry, that first blackberry. If you get those, becomes part of the family.
And the good thing is you can pick them at that precise moment when they're perfectly ripe. So they're bursting with vitamins and minerals.
How do you know when they're ready then?
Quite often with a lot of fruit, if you literally just give the fruit a little bit of a little bit of a pull and it comes away from the plant, then you know it's ready. And normally you can smell the fruit as well, and it's got that lovely sweet kind of fragrance to it. It's ready to pick.
And when they look good colour, when they look juicy, when you just want to eat them, then that's going to be the time. So we get 3 of them for £12.72. That is incredible.
That is, some garden centres would charge you $6.99, $7.99 per plant for those easily.
Really?
So,
that is an absolute bargain, guys. Even the usual price is good, but if you're in the club, it's £12.74. It's 310195. That's one of my picks today. I absolutely love that. It's great. Well, yes, we got fruit trees. We told you we had great variety. If I had to buy something, if I really want to buy this, in fact, my mum was watching. Hello, Mum. And my dad and sister. They said, right, we've got our cards ready, because I told them what's on the show. I think they're going to be eyeing up this one too. Is it Siskiyou? Is it pronounced that?
It's not the easiest word to say. Siskiyou.
Siskiyou.
I just say Gaura, pink Gaura, to be honest.
That's easy, yes.
I'm never too keen when they give them really complicated names. But this is a beautiful plant, Gaura lindheimeri, and these are really, really good perennials. These will come up for you year after year. You were saying before the show, Charlie, you've got a sort of Mediterranean kind of type garden.
Yes.
You've got raised beds with really, really good
drainage.
drainage.
I need some colour. I need a bit more colour,
These would love that kind of position, because Gaura grow in very poor soils. They'll grow in very dry, very well-drained, stony, sandy, gravelly kind of soils. This is sort of them en masse out in the nursery. This is where we go out and pick your plants from. So when you see what we've got in the studio, or in the potting shed, what you see is what you get. These, we don't show you grown on varieties. All the samples we've got here, we've picked from outside and brought into the potting shed to show you on the show. So you'll get 3 of these beautiful Gaura in these 9-centimetre pots, and they are one of the longest flowering perennials that you can put in your garden. They're flowering now. They're going to keep flowering through June, July, August, September, even into October as well. They're hardy plants. They come back year after year. All they ask of you is lovely, open, sunny position, well-drained soil that doesn't get boggy and really wet in the winter, beautiful plants for pots and containers, and you'll enjoy months and months of these stunningly beautiful flowers year after year after year. And not only will you enjoy them, the pollinating insects will adore these as well.
Oh, nice.
So, and they're just joyful, these. I love that soft pink, the way the petals fuse out to almost a white colour.
The petals and the actual
and
leaves.
The foliage.
The foliage. So they arrive like this, give or take an inch or two,
what we do say sometimes is, and I don't think these have been, but sometimes we Chelsea chop some of our plants. So we take a little bit off the top.
Right.
So I think yours are going to arrive like this, but if we think they do, but they have been doing some Chelsea chopping outside. So basically what we do is...
For maintenance,
Yeah, for maintenance. And also it just gives the plants a kind of another zip. It gives them another burst of energy. But even if yours do arrive and they've been a little bit clipped down, don't worry, because within a couple of weeks they're going to reshoot and they will flower their socks off all the way through till autumn.
Gorgeous.
No problem at all.
Really till autumn, so this is the perfect time. And to have colour until that time of the year is really, really worth the money. So three of them for £12.72. Honestly, you get bargains here. I love it. Thanks for your comments. This is my first day here on YouGarden TV. Adam and our Matt, who's on the keys today, they're all looking after me well. A big shout out to Verna, to Anna, to Bill, Neil, to Mauricia. It's a lovely name. Hope I pronounced that right. We got Keith, we got Becky watching too. It's really lovely to have your comments, so thank you so much. And I've got lots to learn from our Adam. That's I need that. That's a need for me.
It really
gorgeous pinks.
Sometimes some people say to me, just give me 3 or 5 kind of perennials, you would recommend. And Gaura is definitely one I would recommend, just for the fact it's so floriferous. I mean, it just flowers for so long, and it asks very little of you. In fact, don't mollycoddle this one. Don't put it in rich soil. Don't feed it. Don't give it lots of lovely, gorgeous compost. Don't use our compost on this one, I would even say to you, because this one, if you keep it hungry, if you plant it in porous soil, then it will flower more for you. If you love it too much, you'll get lots of leaves and foliage, but it'll be more reluctant to flower. So it's a little bit one, treat it mean, kind of keep it king kind of thing with this particular plant.
So, that's easy. That's music to my ears, that, because you can kind of let it do its own thing. Right, let's move on to the peace rose. Now, I was actually reading about this last night, and it gets its name, for 1975 to commemorate the end of the Second World War.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I mean, Charlie, there is so much history.
Isn't there? It was fascinating reading about this.
And we find out more and more things about this all the time. And it was being bred in France, and the war was about to break out, and France was going to be invaded, and the breeders were like, oh my goodness me, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to the nursery? What's going to happen to this particular rose? So they managed to sort of fly some cuttings out to the United States. I think some went to Canada as well. They sent them to various sort of places. Really? And I think Matt mentioned yesterday that they got basically the last flight out possible before the France got invaded and kind of sort of shut down by the enemy. And luckily, thank goodness that happened, because that's why the peace rose is with us today. So these other countries managed to look after it. They took cuttings. They kind of created more plants.
This is quite very symbolic. This is an important plant.
It
is an important rose.
Because you say at the end of the Second World War there was a kind of a huge meeting of delegates, and sort of each country that was represented there was given one of these peace roses as a symbol of peace. Kind of to say let's go ahead after this awful 6 years. And let's go forward in peace and learn lessons and remember what has happened.
It's a really, really important symbol, this, then, isn't it?
But in itself,
the colours themselves are gorgeous,
it's
aren't
a stunning rose, this one, and this is typical of what we're going to send out to you. So all our roses are growing on. They're healthy. This one's got really lustrous, gorgeous, verdant green foliage, very disease resistant, and this is what they call a hybrid tea. So what you get with these, you'll get a lovely straight stem, and you'll get one really gorgeous big flower on top of each stem.
A hybrid tea, sorry.
Yeah, a hybrid tea. So like a floribunda rose is a rose where you kind of have lots of smaller flowers on one stem, but a hybrid tea, a bit like what I call your Valentine's Day roses, lovely lovely straight stem, one perfectly
I know exactly
beautiful
that
flower.
Gorgeous, classic, traditional look.
And also you get a fragrance with peace as well. It has that lovely sweet fragrance, and then you've got the sort of the flower colour there. You've got that beautiful yellow, and then that fringe of pink on the edge of the petals.
Stop bring that round so you can have a look.
Yeah, and the flower colour sort of slightly changes.
That's magnificent.
Look at that. I mean, that is beautiful, isn't it? It gets about 1 metre tall. I've seen it get a little bit taller than that, actually, so give this one a bit of space. But it's tough, it's robust, it's stunningly beautiful. This is the quality of the plants that you know, we send out to you. I mean, on the screen there, that discount club price of £14.44. There's a garden centre near me, the one beginning with F, not the one beginning with D,
right,
in case the other one's watching.
I think I know the one.
The one beginning with F.
We love you, really.
Not a million miles from me, where I live. They would charge you $24.99, $29.99 for a pot-grown rose like that. So the value on that is phenomenal. But when you buy a piece rose, you're literally buying a piece of history. And also, you're buying a rose that has been the parent plant of hundreds and hundreds of varieties of other roses as well. So, if the piece rose had been destroyed, if it hadn't kind of got to survive, then chances are there'll be hundreds of roses today, other types of roses would never exist.
We would never have had.
So, it's just that rose
like
is
ancestors to each other.
Yeah, they are.
And there's something lovely about this. I mean, it represents something so important. To have that in your garden, your UK garden, is a lovely thing.
And it's a long-lived rose, and year after year after it'll come up for you, it'll give you these beautiful blooms. It repeat flowers as well, so dead head after it's finished flowering, new shoots will come out and it will repeat flower all the way through the summer, right into autumn. Just one quick thing before we move on. When you get your rose home, you'll see the what we call the little knuckly bit at the bottom, or the union. Make sure that's between 1 inch and ½ inch below the final soil level once the rose is in. That way it'll sort of get itself nice and established. It'll restrict those suckers from developing, and it will prevent what they call wind rock during the winter time, so the rose won't come all loose in the ground.
So, so it just helps stabilise.
Yeah, it just gives it that, it kind of nestles it down and gives it that nice position where it can really establish and flourish for many, many, many years to come.
And don't forget, if you've just joined us, or honestly, we're learning so much from Adam, then you can always watch the shows back. So these are uploaded to YouTube, so you can watch them time and time again. If you've missed any bits of information, how to plant, how to look after, any care and maintenance, then it's always there for you. Right, what should we look at next? Right, should we do through?
Yeah.
Now, I'm used to saying cherry trees, but a cherry bush is quite something.
And that's literally what it is, Charlie. This is like a cherry bush. This only really ever gets to sort of a couple of metres tall. And also, it's not even grafted. So this is like a naturally occurring cherry that is kind of, you can see there. Look at that. I mean, so that's obviously a pick your own place.
Maybe not your first year.
So yeah, I mean that will take a few years.
Yeah,
but you can see there.
So
no need for cherry pickers. That's where the word comes from, doesn't it? Those things years ago where people had to be lifted up to pick cherries because they were growing great big high trees. Now you can see that lady's walking along at waist height, picking these sumptuous, sweet, delicious cherries easily, simply. This doesn't really need pruning particularly. It's disease resistant. Just give it a nice open, sunny position. Make sure it's got reasonably moist soil, and just let it do its thing. And one thing we mustn't forget, because whenever we talk about fruit, we always immediately talk about the fruit, obviously, but it's the spring blossom as well on this.
Right.
That gorgeous cherry blossom in the spring that is just so wonderful, kind of welcoming in spring and summer. And then the bees do their magic, the flowers get pollinated, and you start to develop these cherries. And yours might have a few cherries, we can't guarantee that, it might not, but this is the size of the plant you'll be receiving. This is what we're going to send out to you. Never get more than a couple of metres tall. And all I would do long term is you just do a little bit of pruning. You can do it sort of late winter, early spring, or you can do it kind of late summer. And all I would ever do is, if this was an established shrub, if you've got some branches like here that are just rubbing a little bit,
right,
or inward growing, I would just clip them off, just so you haven't got
just to give a bit of spacing, right?
So
yes,
you haven't got those bits rubbing. But honestly, for the first couple of 2 or 3 years, don't do anything with yours. Just let it grow, let it established.
But what sort of soil do you need with this? Just general.
They're not asked about soils.
General compost?
Yeah, you incorporate some of our professional compost in the ground when you plant it. Keep it really well watered to get it established. And really, it's that bright, open, sunny position. That's where it will kind of really flourish. And just enjoy cherries for years and years to come that you can pick from kind of this height. I mean, this is about the height. I mean, it gets about that high eventually, kind of, about your height or a bit taller. And it'll just have these lovely upright stems that slightly splay out when they're weighed down with the fruit, and you just go along and you just pick your cherries and you enjoy them.
Cherries. Again, that's the
great.
sort of thing I'd want to do on I don't know, maybe like 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday or a Sunday with a cup of tea. It's lovely. I mean, it's good value, yes, because of the price, but you've got the gorgeous green foliage. The fact you can say to people, this is a cherry bush you've got in your own garden. I mean, can you imagine? And also, you've got the flowers, because I love cherry blossom.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
It gives you a similar romantic look as cherry blossom. For £21.24, that is going to be a focal point in your garden. It's 300-1765 to number. Grab it. Don't wait for that price to change. For this show, £21.24 for club members. If you're not a club member, it's £10 to become one. It's brilliant. You can set that up on YouGarden.com. Click on live deals on the top right hand corner. You'll see us live and all of these deals we got for you this morning. It's fantastic. Right then, we've got something, well, every time I say the word Australian, creeper, climbers, I'm really listening. I love the brightness here.
I've got a question for you on this, Charlie.
Go on.
Look at the flower colour there. In your opinion, is it blue or is it purple?
I sense this is a controversial question.
Well, we do have this sometimes on the show because sometimes, some people say a certain plant is purple, other people say it's blue.
I'd say it's a bluey purple.
I'm totally with you on that. No, honestly, I'm the same. To me, it's almost like a crossover. It's like a bluey purple colour.
It's like a warm blue? Purpley blue. But that's part of the interest, I suppose.
It is, but it's beautiful. I mean,
what would Becky and Sean and that say?
I think they kind of say blue, but sometimes we throw it out to the folks at home, and we get different answers. But I mean, it is a stunning plant, this, and it's a really unusual colour. And for a long period of time, in the summer, in the spring, you get these lovely, lovely little clusters of lovely sort of purpley blue flowers that just hang down with the little stamens in the middle there, and there's loads of buds coming on these. There's little clusters of buds there that are going to keep this going. This is an evergreen climber as well.
Fantastic.
Which is nice. So even in the winter,
I always love evergreens because winter can look so dull, can't it?
It can.
Any greenery is welcome.
Yeah, well, you say you've got the star jasmine in your garden, which is another nice evergreen climber, isn't it? So it's nice to have that colour all the way through the year. Look at that picture there, isn't that gorgeous? I mean, there's not many climbers that have got that lovely blue colour to them. Now, I will just say a couple of things about this because we're always up front with you about plants. If you're in a very mild area, south coast, sort of areas like sort of down in Dorset and areas like within that like Poole and places like that. If you're sort of Devon, Cornwall, west coast of the UK. Abersock, kind of we were talking about earlier on. Those
North
places,
Wales.
Yeah, those places that get those
Beautiful
sort of milder winters, then you could probably keep this outside all the year through. Grow it in a nice sunny position, sheltered, perhaps up against the south or west facing side of the house. Make sure it's got lovely, well-drained soil and give it something to climb up and to support. But if you're in a colder area, grow it in a container, grow it in a pot, because then you can enjoy all the way through the summer, and then in the winter time, and it doesn't need mollycoddling in the winter. It doesn't mean when your mantelpiece in the living room, 25 degrees. If you've got a cool porch, if you've got a conservatory you don't heat, if you've got a spare bedroom that
it's a bit of shelter, just a little bit of soft shelter.
Even if it went down to just 1 or 2 degrees, it would be fine. As long as it's got light, reduce the watering.
Take the edge off.
Yeah, that's exactly. It will happily sit like that through the winter, and then next spring, if you're in those colder areas, you can bring it back out and you can just enjoy this stunning evergreen display with these beautiful, beautiful bluey purple flowers for a long period of time.
I absolutely adore that. If you'd like to get yours, the Australian Bluebell, £12.74, free post and packaging, so delivered to your door for free for that price. It's 510972. Right now, we're talking about compost earlier, and this is really not just any compost, because I used to buy compost from DIY stores, even some supermarkets. As soon as I touch this, Adam, I could feel something different. I knew I had something unique and special here.
You can, because when you touch it, Charlie, first of all, it feels cool, it feels moist, it feels light, it feels airy, which is really, really nice. This isn't claggy or heavy. There's no musty smell to it. It doesn't smell mouldy and mildewy and sort of dank. It's just...
Yeah, because some really can honk.
I bought 10 bags of a compost from a builder's merchants near where I live, and I'll be frank, it literally smelled of poo.
Oh, I mean, honestly.
It just smelled like poo.
It's on your hands, and you keep washing it off. It's awful.
And I emptied it over the beds and borders, and I think for like 3 or 4 days, the neighbours were just thinking, what the hell has that guy put on his garden? You know, it stinks, it's horrible. But this...
Well, the neighbours think it's embarrassing,
exactly.
Isn't it? But not with this.
Not with this. This is incredible. And this will turn you into a compost snob. And the first thing to say about this is a peat-reduced compost, and we were reducing the peat content long before we were told to, long before everyone else was. And even then, some of the peat we were using was some renewable sphagnum moss. So, you know, we've kind of thought about that aspect of it. But then we've taken a lot of the peat out, so we added that composted wood fibre, and that gives it that lovely, open, airy kind of texture.
Yes.
It lets the air get down to the roots. It's really, really important, because those roots are under the ground. They need that oxygen. They need the air to get to the roots.
The space, I suppose, as well, don't they?
Yeah, because if you imagine, Charlie, if you imagine you're a little tiny seed, you're a little plug plant, you're a little cutting, you do not want to try and root into compost that's like cement or really hard and solid. With this, you've got all those lovely air pockets. You can get your roots down, and you can get a root system looking like this. You can get that proper fibrous root system, which is what you want. Because
it's night and day, isn't it?
That is so...
That's probably what you're used to buying, so that could well be the stuff you get in outside supermarkets, DIY stores, retail parks, that kind of thing. That's what you want. And do you know, if you're spending money on plants, if you're spending the time gardening at them, let's give them the best possible chance. And we believe this is that.
And that's what we say with this. And things as well, you know, not only have you got that kind of composted wood fibre as well, once the plant gets its roots down into the compost, you've got that slow release fertiliser. So that's going to feed your plants for up to 6 months. You get these little, actually there's a tan coloured one there, you get these little tan coloured and green coloured beads that will feed your plants for up to 6 months. And also there's a wetting agent in this, so that makes your compost what they call hydrophilic. It wants to absorb the moisture. It's like kitchen towel. And you can hear, this is Sean, I love you, Sean Ryan.
Hey, sure.
Planting all sorts of things, you know, planting things in the pots, planting things in containers. I've used so many bags of this year. I've grown all my own bedding plants, which I'm really proud of. I've grown amaranthus, I've grown statice, antirrhinums, all sorts of things growing in the garden. I started them off in seed trays using this compost. The seeds germinated really quickly. They developed a beautiful little root system. And even when I potted them on into the 9-centimetre pots, within a week to 10 days, the roots were coming out the base already and establishing. So if you're growing fruit, if you're growing vegetables, if you're growing house plants, basically if it's green and it grows, it's going to love this compost.
It might be a basic question. Do you ever mix compost with like soil with your plants? Because if you're like potting something, just this and that's it?
Well, occasionally, that's a good point actually, Charlie, because sometimes what we do say to people is if you're going to grow a fruit tree or a tree in one of our very large containers, like one of our 50-litre heavy-duty pots, sometimes I will suggest doing a 50-50 mix of topsoil and compost, because sometimes, you know, that's best long-term. But for general kind of use, for your bedding plants, your house plants, growing all your veg and stuff, just use our compost as is. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's pH balanced as well, so it's not too acid, it's not too alkaline. It arrives in these white bags. No need for all fussy nonsense written on the bags, because it gets delivered to your door. This is the real
deal, isn't it?
That's it. Stu, our other producer, always says the value's in the bag, not on the bag, and it will arrive to you in a cardboard box, recycled cardboard, and it can be recycled again. So none of that hassle trying to wheel bags of compost through the garden centre.
I've had a compost leak in the boot of my car, and if that's that smelly stuff, that's there for weeks, my friends. You don't want that delivered to your door. I mean, so 2 50-litre bags, and I suppose you could just fork it into your bed to add some nutrients there.
All that kind of thing.
So I watched you and Becky present this some time ago, and it was the wood fibres that really got me, and it feels just so different. Yeah, it's not like heavy mud, it's not claggy. Well, you just know that's going to do your plants a world of good.
Sometimes we try and squeeze one into a ball like this, and then we almost like make a little dung ball, but just the slightest kind of little movement like that, and it just falls apart.
Yeah, it does.
Brilliant stuff.
Love this, and we got so much more to go through. But thanks so much for your emails, and thanks for your welcome here today as well. Alison's been in touch, who I know you guys know as Ali G. I like Ali G in the house. Morning, Adam, Matt, and welcome to the potting shed, Charlie. Ali, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Some photos of what's looking good in our garden at the moment. Oh, the simple live rose is still in the nursery pot, but looking good. I have a question for Adam about this rose, or maybe Charlie will know the answer. If it is Charlie Hopkins, I remember him saying his mum was a florist. Absolutely right. She's watching now on YouTube, so thanks, Ali. My question is, do certain roses close their petals on night? Because all my other roses down the garden, and I've never noticed, but the Simple Life is outside the patio door, and I've noticed that it closes its petals on a night. Well, any ideas there?
I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't know that particular rose does that, but a lot of plants do that. It's called nyctinisty. And I
thought it was, yeah.
And so basically what certain plants do at night, they'll fold up their flowers or they'll fold up their leaves. And it's a protection mechanism. So basically what it does, it protects the flower during the night. It stops like marauding creatures or insects sort of robbing their pollen at night time. But this one, the Simple Life one, this is a stunner, this rose, because it looks very much like the dog rose, the wild dog rose that we've got, but the flowers are just stunning on that. Really beautiful.
Honestly, Ali, thanks so much for these pictures. These are magnificent. What gorgeous garden you have. Seriously,
got some nice fruit going on there. There's some. In fact, they almost look a bit like tayberries. I think they could be tayberries. Those.
Look at those. Yeah. They're going to be stunning, aren't they? Then they're coming on really well, Ali, aren't they? I love your pot. It's like a rattan-style pot. That's beautiful. Really nice. And we've got another one to go through too. Keep them coming through. It's YouGarden TV at, YGTV at YouGarden.com is the email address. These are stunning too, aren't they?
So we've got, I think they're Coreopsis. It looks like they could be early sunrise.
Coreopsis, that's right, yeah.
Growing away there, looking really nice. Yeah, flaring their socks off. And they're just going to keep... And some strolch. We've got that lovely strolch on the top there as well, keeping those slugs and snails at bay as well. Really
love these. We've got more emails coming. This is fantastic. Honestly, the guys here are saying we have so many regular viewers. It's so good to meet you guys. Looking forward to getting to know you. John's been in touch. Oh, wow. Look at these. These are stunning. Oh, is there a message at the bottom? Bear with. It says John in Cornwall. Right, there we go. Beautiful part of the world. Right, should we go through these pictures? We're sport for inspiration here. Look at that.
They're nice. That's the power daisies there. They're lovely, kind of bright orange and bright yellow. Tango. I'm trying to think about what the other one is. But and look at these. I mean, look, got gaillardias there. We all say that, and I'm straight with gaillardias. Gaillardias.
Hey, you have me convinced there, Adam. Where are you from? That is beautiful.
Yeah, and the lovely fatsia there, the fatsia japonica in the background.
I've got a couple of fatsias. Yeah, they've grown so much the last few years.
They really get a romp on, don't they, this time of year? They just really zoom away quickly. Beautiful.
Honestly, I love that look. The foliage there is beautiful. These are magnificent.
That's a clematis. I think that's one called Ziboldii, one of the Ziboldii types, with those super sort of really sort of double flowers. Beautiful. Look at that.
This is really something. Thank you so much. I will try and show you some more later. Amanda's been in touch. She says, "Hi team. Here's a few pics, including the first ever rose I bought from YouGarden, the latte one, and my Christmas rose had buds already, and my first cucumber for this year.
Yay.
How about that?" Oh, Amanda, that looks fantastic.
Look at that,
wow.
Lily. Whoa.
That is a pop of energy you've got there in your garden.
See, if you wanted to get that hot garden look as well, lilies like this would be. These are, I think it might be one of our tree lilies, even possibly this one. I mean, or one of our sort of giant lilies. Look at that. I mean, really fiery, deep pink colour there. We've got some verbena bonariensis growing there as well. Looking really gorgeous. I'm about to put loads of those in my own garden actually, because they seed about. So I've grown the little seeds on in our compost, funnily enough, and I'm going to give them another week or so, and then I'm going to plant them up.
They're good to have at the back aspect, like you've done here, Amanda. That's a great idea. Honestly, you've got a kaleidoscope of colour in your garden. These are magnificent, aren't they?
I like that. I really like that. Oh, actually, if we just go... See the little purpley flower in between there? Matt, do you know the other week when I plonked one of these... When I plonked a plant in the compost here and you said it looked like a weed... Yeah, well, that purple flower, that's
Is that it?
That's what that weed does. That's called Nautia.
So don't throw that away.
Yeah, they all ribbed me, they did, because like I put this plant in the compost just to show about the compost.
Well, is it that bit there?
Yeah, the lovely deep pinky purple one, at the top, yeah. And they're all saying, why has Adam planted a weed? It's like, it's not a weed, it's Nautia, which is a really stunningly beautiful plant.
John, you're pleased we're showing that, aren't you?
Yeah, so there you go.
That's called karma for you, Adam, there, isn't it? John, thanks so much, I think. Oh, we got the cucumber. Wow, look at this.
Look at that.
Honestly, it's amazing. I love the variety you've got on your garden. This is great. Amanda, thank you so much indeed. Keep them coming through. Any questions? Let's share inspiration of your garden. What a lovely thing to be able to do. Honestly, love it here. Right, we've got some more previews. We've got lots more to go through. So if you're looking for anything, fruit bushes, we've got gorgeous pops of colour. We've got lots of evergreen shrubs on the show. So have a look and just scroll down. Now, this is the Sunbelievable brown-eyed girl. Now, when I think sunflowers, I think just one. You get an abundance. Maybe even hundreds.
Do you know what? Somebody once on a sort of a plant of this counted up to 1,000 flowers and buds.
You're joking?
No, honestly, up to 1,000 flowers, and then they stopped. They just gave up.
So do they keep flowering?
Yeah. The good thing about this one, Charlie, is it can't set seed.
Right.
So it just keeps flowering. It's distressed because it wants to keep producing seed, but it can't. So it just keeps flowering and flowering and flowering all the way into October, even November.
Oh, there we go. You've got great value from in there. £14.44 in a 3 litre pot. 560-541. I would start checking out your basket. We've had a busy morning, guys. Thank you so much. Right, we've got lots more to go through. The Bougainvillea. This is a very special deal. This is a double up deal. Ordinarily £34.99. You're not paying anything anywhere near that. It's £25.49 if you are a club member. And don't forget, it's free postage and packaging. Please use that offer code YGTV2425. Add it in, or just type in before you check out. Even if you're brand new to shopping with us today here on YouGarden, you can still get that amazing free P&P. And if you're not a club member, well, you can pay the usual price, of course, but if you want to save that money, in fact, you know what, even if you're paying £10 just to buy that, well, and if you buy something else on the show, you could well make your money back already. It's really, really worth thinking about becoming a club member. We've got two different colours of this on the show, haven't we, as well?
Yeah, we've got the lovely purple colour there. I've got this. I've got a purple one in my garden.
Matt's got this too.
I've had it for years, actually. Really easy to look after. They're not frost hardy, but you can get them through the winter. And if you keep them indoors, on a bright windowsill somewhere, above about 10 degrees, they'll keep flowering through the winter, or you can keep them in a greenhouse, keep them frost-free. They'll drop their leaves, but they reshoot in the spring, and they'll flower like crazy for you.
Oh, Joe, I love that. It's so romantic colours. It's 680-345. That's £25.49 in the club. How amazing is this? Right, now you've also loved this, the Geums. This is the first item, the first plant we actually saw. You adore it. I mean, you get the most gorgeous fiery orange globes of colour flowering through majority of the summer. It's 561211. People love this. Well done if you got that, because you're saving £10. And even more, of course, if you're in the discount club price. Right, how about this? This is the Petit Jenny. This is just quite charming. The way it just sways ever so elegantly in the wind. This just bathes your garden in colour. The most gorgeous. It's like a lovely, welcoming, soft pink that you can look forward to year after year. It's £16.98. It's 561335. You can type in that item number on YouGarden.com or go to the website, click on live deals on the top right hand corner. You'll see all these items there. Just scroll down. You'll see all these special live offers for this morning. Wow. Thanks so much for watching. Now, how about adding some fruit into your garden? Well, we've got a cheeky little lucky dip for you here. So it could be raspberries, it could be strawberries, it could be blueberries, blackberries, red currant jelly, eh? Strawberries. Imagine picking these throughout the summer. You know, it's going to be something that you and your family look forward to each and every day. And Adam and I were talking, you know, there's nothing quite like your own fresh fruit, maybe with some cream in the afternoon, strawberries and cream. It's that time of the year, isn't it, Wimbledon? No, it's going to be soon. In a few weeks. Anyway, if it's going to be with your porridge, your yoghurt in the morning, that. But just looking at them, you get the most beautiful beauty with those leaves and growing your own fruit. This could be like a fruit garden delivered to your door. You're going to get 3 fruits delivered in one go, one payment, of £12.72. That is fantastic. It's better than half price, that club price, from the usual RRP. So yeah, 310195. Right, we had variety. Now, I've struggled with this one. This is Ski Pink. I hope I pronounced that right. The Gaura. This is really, really quite something. Now, there's a romance to this, and as Adam was saying earlier, it's so easy to grow, you know. If you forget to water a bit, if it's in dry soil once established, obviously try and keep on top of it, but it's very, very forgiving. I love that gorgeous Mediterranean vibe. This brings holiday home, and yes, you've got the gorgeous foliage. That contrast against the pink is really something to behold. They're such pretty flowers, and look at the abundance that you can get here. Well, it comes already fairly established, actually. You get a gorgeous, gorgeous solid root system. These are ready to plant now. About everything on the show is ready to plant. 3 9cm pots for £12.74. I mean, that is really good value for money. Just over £4.50 each that works out to be. That is extraordinary value for money. I mean, normal RRP, that's going to be, about £9.99? But best part of £10 per pot, that would normally be. But, well, it's way better than half price. It's 560898. Well done if you're going for that one. Right, the cherry porthos. Now, I've grown up in my garden with my parents with cherry trees. Honestly, I used to love picking those when I was a kid. I used to look forward to that. But to have your own cherries in your garden, but these are cherry bushes we got here. It's not often I've said cherry bush, you know, normally it's tree. But it comes in a 3-litre pot, £75. Again, normally £29.99. But if you're in the discount club, you can get it delivered £21.24. Where would you place that in your garden? Maybe you're going to be multi-buying these. Maybe you're going to have like a cherry bush section in your garden. That's going to be simply stunning. Yes, you're going to have those leaves, you're going to have the cherries, but it flowers in a cherry blossom-like appearance. So if you want the romance that a cherry blossom can bring, but you haven't got the space or you haven't got the budget, then this is perfect, folks. It's 300176. Now, another one that's also been very, very popular, the Solia, the Australian bluebell. I know what Adam's saying. Is it blue? Is it purple? For me, it's a cross between the two. These are magnificent. It's evergreen. You get bursts of energy with those gorgeous, ever so pretty bluebells that people stop. You know, when people see bluebells generally, they don't just drive past or walk past. They pause, they take a moment and appreciate it. And that's what your guests are going to be doing with this, the Solia Australian bluebell. 510972 is your item number. Thanks so much. We have a lot of people just checking out. Well done. You've got bargains. Please don't forget, because we've got a lot of people adding these to your baskets, use the offer code YGTV2425. We'll show you how to do that in just a few moments' time. Now, the Peace Rose, named after, well, at the end of the Second World War, of course, so this is so very important. I mean, for that reason alone, what a magnificent statement, a magnificent piece of heritage and symbolism to have in your garden. Wow. I mean, apart from anything else, the colours are beautiful. £14.44. If you're a club member, it works out to be better than half price. You haven't got to add your P&P on, use the offer code, you get that in for free. Well, so how do you shop then? Well, if you're brand new to YouGarden, this is my first day too, so thanks for bearing with me. If you go to Live now, just on the top right corner, you scroll down, you see all these deals there. Add to your basket, you can read reviews. I learned so much from the YouGarden website, by the way. They've got so much good information there. Add in the offer code. So obviously, yeah, it's good. Today it is YGTV2425. And there you go. The delivery cost is reduced to £0. So to get delivered home is £16.99. For a good quality plant, it's just really good value. I would not even look for a different price than that. If you go around garden centres like I do, you know that that's a brilliant, brilliant deal. But if you are joining the club today, then yeah, you can save an additional £2.55 there. So if you're not a club member, £20 for the year, but if you go for the auto renew, it's £10 for the year. It's fantastic. People love this. You can save a lot of money and there's lots of other benefits, and here's why people love it.
If you love your garden as much as we love ours, then why not join the YouGarden Discount Club?
The club has been running for many years, and it's where thousands of our customers enjoy a whole host of benefits to ensure that they get the most out of their gardens for less.
Now is a great time to join the YouGarden Discount Club, as the benefits have just got even better. So what do you get when you join the club?
Firstly, our members will get bigger discount rates all year round. So you'll now receive 15% off our range of plants and accessories, and that's on top of any other discounts you might have.
For those bigger investments, such as garden furniture or lawnmowers, for example, you now get 7.5% discount on all of our outdoor living and machinery range.
In addition to the ongoing discounts, you'll also get more voucher value when you join or renew your club membership. We will send you 4 £5 product vouchers, which you can redeem throughout the year against the cost of your orders.
And as a new added benefit, you will now receive 2 free P&P vouchers, which can be redeemed against the cost of your shipping.
Club members get priority access to exclusive offers and brand new products at our best prices.
We'll keep you up to date with fantastic advice and top tips from our grown experts and professional gardeners to make sure that you get the most from your new purchases and existing plants. The best way to join the club is with our auto-renewal subscription. You'll pay £10 per year, then at the end of the year we will automatically renew your membership to ensure you retain all of your benefits. Plus, the price you pay when you join will never go up for as long as you remain a member, and that's a guarantee.
And remember, when you join the club, you will start saving from the very first order you make, as the discounts will be applied immediately. So with all that the YouGarden Discount Club has to offer, why not join us and start saving today?
We'd love to help you make the most of your garden for less with the YouGarden Discount Club.
Joe, it can pay for itself so quickly, can't it? It really could do, you know, especially at the moment. £10 for the year. I mean, we've seen deals. Even if you buy a couple of items on the show, that could well be your money back straight away.
It just makes sense, because you do it once, you renew it year after year. The cost doesn't go up, and you get that that sort of discount.
Yeah.
Sort of, even off of things like lawnmowers and furniture, you can get 7.5%.
Yeah, have a shop around on the website.
Yeah,
you know.
it's phenomenal. It's brilliant.
And if you're buying with us right now, lots of you are doing. Thanks so much. We've had a phenomenally busy start to the show. It's been brilliant. And now it's gone already. The busiest item is this, the Peace Rose. Wow. Ordinarily £29.99, but now it's £14.99. It's the beauty. It's what it represents. I think every household, every garden would cherish this. It really, really would be great to have in every garden. It's 530023. Right, we've still got more. We're not even halfway through, I don't think. We've got lots more to go through. The canna lilies, people adore these, you know.
I'd almost have a gut feeling you might have some of these, or you would have some, because again, you were saying you like that kind of Mediterranean tropical look in your garden. Well,
I was looking through the website last night, and actually I've got a mental list of the things I need to buy. But yeah, you're right, and I now want a hot Mediterranean garden, as you mentioned. I didn't know it was called that. So basically, pops of colour. This would be perfect. It's a lot of energy, this.
Yeah, and you've got 3 gorgeous colours in here as well. So, and also you've got that foliage colour. So you've got the lovely dark leaves there, and the leaves in themselves are phenomenal. So you've got the red, you've got the peach, and also you've got the sort of the bicoloured one there with the yellow and red flower. These again can be hardy in some parts of the UK. In colder areas, you can give them a bit of protection during the winter. But these are drama. These are dramatic. These are going to give you that kind of tropical
they
look,
are dramatic, you're right. Yeah,
beautiful, beautiful colours. And although some of those are flowering right now, they are generally kind of mid to late summer into autumn kind of flowering type shrubs. Monty Don on Gardener's World places out that he has those kind of lovely sort of autumn flowering gardens, and cannas are always saying that appear there because they just sort of love the warmth of the summer, and by the late summer, autumn, these can be dramatic with the big leaves, the big flower spikes. These, again, will have an amazing root system. Excuse me, I'm picking that one up. In fact, I think the other day I struggled to get one out of the pot, but look at this. I mean, the root system.
Wow.
That's insane, isn't it? I mean, Look at that. So these are fabulously well-established plants. I mean, they're just absolutely itching to get in the ground.
They're so dense, honestly. That's a full root, isn't it?
Yeah, and with this as well, you do the Bexing. You do a little bit of a squeeze and tease when you get home. Just squeeze the root ball and then just gently kind of loosen those roots a little bit.
Just to encourage them to grow
outwards.
Yeah, I understand.
Because they've been so used to just growing round and round in that pot, so you want them to sort of grow outwards. But that's the thing with cannas. They bring drama with the leaves, but also they bring drama with the flowers. And so often, when you get the beautiful red, you get the lovely peach colour, and they contrast with those leaves. Look at that, that's a beautiful shot there, Charlie. You can just see, can't you, into the look of that flower there.
Ombre of colour you've got there.
Really.
Do you know how high these go, roughly?
I mean, my ones that I've got, they get to about sort of half a metre to kind of about a metre, very, very max.
Sure, I want these. I've got a little seating area. I made a bed out of sleepers. I've got a little seating area in the middle. I want one of these either side.
They look glorious, honestly. And they'd love those raised beds of yours because they like good drainage.
Yeah.
So they're like a sunny position. If you can give them a nice sunny, well-drained position, and sort of keep them well watered. They make fabulous pot plants, good container plants, but they do give you drama. And we do say if you're in a sort of a milder area, then you can probably get these through the winter time. What I would suggest is perhaps if you've got quite well-drained soil, put a lovely layer of strolch over the top, and that will just protect the roots from any frost that might try and get down. If you're in a colder area, grow them in pots. In fact, I've got one lady on my estate where I live. She has got some pots of cannas, and about every October, she just gets me to lift the pots up, plonk them in the garage,
nice.
And they stay in the garage all the way through the winter in the dark, not watered, nothing at all.
Really?
Yeah. The other week,
so a couple of minutes to move them, and
that's
then
it. The other week, I brought them out the garage. They looked as dead as doornails. They really did. But already now they're starting to regrow. They're starting to shoot. So really easy to get through a winter if you're in a colder area and you want to grow these. But generally, can you just check, Matt? Do we have the snowflake symbol on these? Because I know there were some that we did have a snowflake symbol for. So
we're just checking for you now, yeah.
Yeah, but as I say, they're just fabulous plants. They're different. They're unusual. You've got the drama of the flowers. You've got the drama of the leaves.
Here we go.
There you go.
There you go. Winter hardy.
There you go. Winter hardy guarantee on there.
Yeah.
So these will get through. So
you're right, Nick. Because I was looking forward to the colours, and by the way, look at those reviews we got there. 10 5-star reviews already there, but it's actually the leaves. They have impact, don't they?
They're like banana leaves, but obviously a lot smaller. But
there's an exotic look to the leaves, don't you think?
If you like that kind of look at the colour. When you kind of put you tilt it forward, and you look into those leaves, and you see the darkness of the leaves, and you see the contrast of the sort of the almost black on those leaves.
Yes, it is.
And then
it's like an iridescent shimmer you've got on those.
And that's great because you see that with certain plants. So when you move the leaves on certain plants, depending on how the light hits the surface of the leaf, you get those different sort of colours come through. Yeah. So they're going to look gorgeous like this all the way up until the first frosts. And don't even worry if they get a first couple of frosts, like those light autumn frosts, they might even shrug that off, to be honest, and keep going. Yeah. And when we get a harsher frost, it'll just blacken the leaves off on the top. I would just leave them over winter. I wouldn't even cut them down. I would just cut the dead heads off. But other than that, I would leave them.
And just keep them coming. You know, you mentioned pots. Imagine the leaves fanning over the pot, and you've got that gorgeous pop of colour. That's going to be so special. Right, £50.27. It's not far off half price for this as well. If you are in the YouGarden discount club, so it's 450-164. That's brilliant. And mentally, I've bought 10 plants. You pretty much re-landscaped my garden today. Thanks, Adam. I really appreciate it.
You ought to just take the plants home and be here for free today. Just get paid in plants.
I'll work out a deal. That's fine. Seriously, I'd want some cannas. I really want some cannas now. Now, the phlox, when you mention the phlox, people just imagine the most beautiful orbs of colour you've got here. It's like a carpet of colour.
And these are your carpet phlox. These are phenomenal. These plants are gorgeous little plants here. You've got these fabulous sort of plug plants. They're already sort of multi-branched. And these are really, really good plants for really hot, dry, sunny positions. I planted some of these about this size on a garden, again, where I live, on my estate, in a front garden, and they've quadrupled in size just in 1 year. In fact, fact, yeah, as Matt just said, one of these plants over a couple of years can cover an area the size of an old-fashioned dustbin lid.
Well, sorry, just one?
Just one.
That little plug you just held up then?
Yeah, one little plant. In fact,
way.
I don't know if Matt can pick it up on the...
How far would you space these then?
Well, I would put them at least... let's just find me where's my picture? Yeah, so... I would space them at least probably sort of 18 inches apart. Yeah, just bear with me, because these are absolutely fantastic, and they're good for really, really hot, dry, sort of drought positions. They do really well in sandy soil, gravelly soils, really, really poor soils. They're yeah, that's the ones there, Charlie. So
should we do it? I'll try and connect it
They're
for
kind
you.
of winter hardy as well, so they're bone hardy. They're great for rockeries. They're great for pots. In fact, I'm trying to even grow some in a hanging basket, and what you get is you get that evergreen foliage, so they stay good all the year through. These, these I took a picture of these about 3 weeks ago now, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I planted this time a bit earlier, this time last year, same size plants as what you're seeing here, and in a year, Charlie, that's what they've done. They've formed
in one year.
In fact, I probably planted them a bit too close, to be honest. I could have spaced them out even more. And even this morning when I went past, there's still some colour on these. There's still some flower on these. These are still looking beautiful. They only get to about sort of 3 or 4, 5 inches tall, but they spread out really, really well.
I want to use this to, I'm not calling this a gap filler, but actually to fill in gaps around the higher plants. That's actually really, really handy.
Yeah, they're absolutely
and you
fabulous.
get 12 plugs, so you can just dot them around.
Dot them around. And the good thing is with them as well is they do well in those really poor soils. So, for instance, have you got an area outside the front of your house that's just really boring gravel? Have you got an old patio?
I have. Yeah, I have actually.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Or if you've got a patio with some of the stones and they've cracked and there's little bits have come out, or if you've got an old tumbled down wall or something like that. Honestly, literally, I know literally is an overused word, but literally, if you've got an area like that and you can just get these little roots, those little base of those plugs into a little bit of soil, they will grow.
So old garden walls.
Anywhere like that.
Where the jointings come out of a patio, I've got weeds and all sorts.
If there's a bit of soil down there, they'll be happy. They love full sun, really good drainage. They're great for poor soils, amazing for rockeries. You get a good sort of 6 weeks of flower, and then sporadically they will put out flower a little later in the year as well, kind of late summer towards autumn. Not as fabulous as springtime, but sporadic flower. You've got the evergreen foliage during the winter as well, and you don't need to do anything with them. Don't cut them back, don't trim them.
Just let them spread, let them grow.
Let them do their thing. Yeah,
let them
they're
flourish. So again, get 12 plug plants there. So we get a variety of colour included. I mean, for £12.73. Just think, where are you going to be in your garden this time next year, a year after that? Honestly, you're going to have the most gorgeous carpeting of colour from the flock. So it's 480-358. That's beautiful. It's such good value anyway, but what this can become, that's the exciting thing here. Where's it going to be this time next year?
And just check, just quick before we move on, just check on these books. When you get these, you'll actually have a little index on the front here, and the lettering there relates to embossed lettering that you can see. There, you can just see there. Look, you can see just those letters. You've got JKL just catching the light there. So sort of make sure this here corresponds with that there. So it tells you exactly. It tells you what colour it is. So when you get home, don't get excited and flop them all straight out of the box.
Yeah, think about where you want colour,
because then you won't know which is which.
Yeah, you might want to balance then, don't you? Just to mirror each end of your garden.
I mean, I would mix. I'm not bothered, but you might want to colour coordinate. So just bear that in mind.
Yeah, I'd want to do that. I'm glad you mentioned that. George, Stuart gave me a tour around the nursery, and the packing area here is just it's incredible. It's a vast place, this nursery.
And it's efficient as well. It's an incredible place.
It's like clockwork.
It is.
I've never seen anything quite like it, and I was very grateful for the tour. Right now, this one, the citrina, this is going to be a big popular item, I think,
Yeah, these are great. These are a lovely, lovely shrub. They kind of originate from North Africa, southern Mediterranean. They do fabulously well in the UK, and they flower late winter into early spring, and they have the most gorgeous, super sweet fragrance. There's one in my front garden. My husband John's growing one in a pot, and he's got almost like a tower pot kind of affair on top of it.
Oh, wow.
And we've kind of grown it up and through. because it's quite an airy, wispy kind of shrub. Sometimes it likes a little bit of support, or you can just let it gently tumble down over the soil if you want. But every spring, late winter, early spring to mid-spring, when we step outside and we've got a little bench just near it, the fragrance is divine. It's really, really sweet.
Sweet, is it then?
Oh, it's lovely. Really gorgeous, Charlie, on this. And the bees love it as well. They're really grateful, actually, because obviously they want the pollen, they want the nectar that time of year, so it's bringing those pollinating insects in. It's hardy as well, surprisingly, for a shrub that comes from those parts of the world. It gets through most British winters, no problem at all. Semi-evergreen to evergreen, depending on the kind of winter or where you live. Gets to about up to about a metre tall eventually, but always pretty much has this what we call like glaucous blue kind of coloured foliage. And you've got 3 of those plants there, so you can grow them up through a tower pot if you wanted to, or if you've got a raised bed, you could put them in a raised bed and let them gently tumble over the side of the raised bed.
Nice, yeah. So maybe towards the front then, actually.
That'd be lovely.
Or the side.
Yeah, anywhere, or you might have some tom-tom pots or anything like that. But honestly, grow these, try these, because the foliage is beautiful. You've got this lovely, very sort of almost like fern-like foliage on here, which you can see, which I really adore. It's got that lovely sort of what we call glaucous-y sort of blue kind of colour to it. I'll whip one out the pot as well.
It's got a depth to that green, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
It's not just a green. It's got character.
And lovely root system as always. On all our plants, you've got that well-established root system. We don't just stick cuttings in a 9-centimetre pot like 2 weeks before and send them out to. We grow our plants on.
These have been nurtured, haven't they?
Been nurtured.
Yeah.
They've been loved. They've been grown in our professional compost. You've got 3 of those. Bright, open, sunny position. That's where they'll really, really flourish. But if you're just looking for something that's going to give you that pop of colour early at the end of winter into spring, plus fragrance as well, plus beautiful foliage, with a lovely, open, airy, gentle kind of tumbling habit, grow these, Coronilla. They are really, really beautiful, stunning shrubs.
I'd always, I mean, like higher up areas, raised beds, cascading over the sides there. That's going to be really nice. I can picture it, but just think, where are you going to put this in your garden? If you want any tips or any advice, if you want to get the deals home but you're not too sure where to put them, we can help you. That's why we're here live, guys, to interact with you at home. £15.27, the club price is just remarkably good. Ordinarily, £29.97 is the RRP. So rest assured, you've got a really good deal. It's 511567, but it's the deals for this morning. Hopefully they'll be back at some stage. We can't promise if, when, how, but they are here right now, and it could be the last time we get to them at that price. Right, we've got the dianthus next here. Yeah.
Aren't these gorgeous?
These are brilliant. You get a lovely mixture of colours.
Look at the colours. This is our coronet dianthus, and look at those. I mean, goodness me, we've got reds, we've got pinks, we've got purples, we've got some bi-coloured ones there as well, and these are fragrant. They have a lovely kind of soft fragrance, which, Sweet Williams or pinks are famous for kind of their fragrance. These are sort of bedding plants for the summertime. Sunny position, bright position, beds, borders, rockeries, pots, hanging baskets, window boxes, troughs, fillers between other plants, front of the border, edges of the borders.
Nice.
Just lovely, lovely colour for week after week after week, right through to autumn. They only get to about 5 or 6 inches tall. They'll be loved by the pollinating insects, and I just think they're a really joyful, pretty, wonderful range of colours. I'll whip one out for you. I'll take one out.
Would you put these in hanging baskets?
You could, if you wanted to.
Because I want bursts of colour for some I've got.
Is that even going to... There we go. Oh, look at this.
My word.
Goodness me. This is garden ready.
Look at that. Honestly, you don't often see that root system, because I go poking around garden centres. I don't often see that. It's all about YouGarden, folks. They are the masters at growing.
They are the masters of growing, Charlie, and this is why, when you get our plants home, they thrive, they flourish, and say some of these are fragrant as well. I've got to remember which way it goes back in there, because there's a little ridge there. There you go. It goes in that way. I'm just going to pick these up and just put them under my nose, because some of them, when I was... Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they do.
You've left me wanting more.
Yeah, it's not a strong fragrance, but they do have like a sort of a delicate kind of fragrance to them as well. So
they really do, you know.
Yeah, you get that sort of
quite
lovely...
subtle, this
it's
welcoming...
like a spicy kind of fragrance on there. But these can look beautiful for you all the way through the summer. You've got that, and they're garden ready, these, so these can go straight out now into the garden and just deadhead after they're flowered. So basically what that means is once one flower head is finished, and I'm not going to pick this off because it's still looking beautiful, but just pick that flower head off with this little seed pod underneath,
right,
and that will just encourage all these buds. And goodness me,
there's more.
There's an insane amount of buds on these. So these are going to be flowering for many months.
I was going to say throughout the summer that's going to be flowering and blooming. Definitely,
and just a nice sunny spot. That's where they'll flourish. That's where they'll do well. But if you're sort of looking out the window now, if you're still seeing that some of your tops of your pots and things have still got some gaps, and you're thinking, you know what, I just want something instant garden ready that I can pop in the ground straight away, get that colour, fill those last gaps. These definitely are going to fit the bill for you.
Yeah, we've got instant interest, haven't you, straight away. Right, item number for that one is 410210. Type into the website the search barcode on YouGarden.com. But if you click on live deals on the top right hand corner, scroll down, you'll see all of these amazing offers we've got there. If you're not a discount club member, you can become one today for £10, and then you can immediately get all these amazing deals. And if you type in the code, free post packaging. So straight away you can do this, get the lowest price and get free P&P on these live items. Now, lots of people have been waiting for the lobelia right here.
Yeah, and lobelia is fabulous. Now, poor old lobelia gets a rough deal, to be honest.
Oh, bless it, why?
And I love our Bex, because Bex always champions lobelia, because quite often, Shirley, people say, get lobelia, use it as a filler, plonk it in between other plants, kind of, give it a last kind of thought kind of thing.
They're going to feel left out, bless them.
They do, but I tell you what, if you just grow lobelia on its own, a pot of lobelia on its own, you're going to be blown away, because give it a chance to flourish, give it a chance to shine in its own right. Put it, do a whole hanging basket just of lobelia. Do a whole window box of just this gorgeous lobelia, and you'll be absolutely mesmerised by the colour that it produces all summer long. There's a gorgeous colour mix in here. There's soft pinks, there's sort of blues, there's whites, there's a kind of some have got sort of colours. I mean, this one here, look at the lovely kind of soft sort of violet-y colour on that one there. And you just get so many flowers on these. They make me laugh, actually, lobelia, because look at this.
Wow.
I think this is one that sort of the idea that Bex came up with. She did this in her own garden.
So that's in a pot, sorry.
Yeah, that's just in a pot. Now, quite often people say with lobelia, when you've got a hanging basket and you've got a few gaps, just ram it into those little gaps and just let it kind of grow through other plants. But when you just grow it on its own, you give it its day in the sunshine, literally. Yeah. You get a display from
not
lobelia.
Just a filler then, at all?
No, give it space in its own right. Plant containers of this, grow it on its own, or if you want to, use it to fill between other plants as well. This is a nice trailing variety, so a bit like yourself, Charlie, if you've got raised beds, if you've got raised borders, if you've got some nice tall pots, and you're looking for something to tumble down. And you'll get flower like this. I mean, these are absolutely smothered in buds now. They're garden ready. They're ready to go straight out. And they'll flower. These will flower for you right up until October, even November.
That's impressive.
No deadheading.
So as it goes a bit gloomy, a bit colder, you've still got that last in there.
It's only when the frosts finally kick in that they'll finally give up. So, and you've got... how many of these you got?
You get 20 garden-ready plants.
20 of those.
You know what? Just looking at that there, it just looks so natural, doesn't it?
It does.
Actually,
it looks natural.
It's not too staged. You're letting nature do its thing right there, and that's just lobelia, nothing else in that.
And that's all you need. And it's one of those plants. I say, plant it, love it, leave it. It's one of those plants because once you plant it, I mean, in a container, obviously, do water it, feed it occasionally as well. Use our blooming fast, for example. But this is what you get, and you're just going to get that magnificent array of beautiful colour, and you don't need to spend 1 second deadheading. Don't even bother doing that. Just enjoy them.
Just enjoy it. No, for 20 garden-ready plants, I'm sure people will be looking at the RRP thinking, £19.99. That looks familiar if we look at these around garden centres. But that root system, I'm blown away by that. But also, it's £11.03 for 20 garden-ready plants. It's so cost-effective to get colour in your garden. It's all about shopping with YouGarden, folks. Seriously, we've had a busy morning. Thanks so much, and thanks for your comments too. 410071. Now, I looked on the website at this one last night, the pheasant berry. Once they're grown, wow!
I'm glad you said that.
I can't believe this. The little lanterns of colour you've got.
Because this is
really quite special.
A shrub that I'm always trying to champion, because I feel not enough people grow Lycisteria, and they should, because it is a stunning, stunning shrub.
Well, I hadn't seen one before, so I was really intrigued.
So unusual. I mean, this is golden lanterns, this one. And the first thing to say is, look at the foliage. The foliage starts off this kind of plum, dark colour, almost like the canna leaves, really. And then they change these lovely limey green, goldeny yellow kind of coloured leaves. So immediately, even before the flower, you've got that beautiful contrast there between the foliage, the darker foliage and the lighter foliage. Oh my goodness me! When they flower,
that is a beautiful, indulgent contrast there.
And they can be up to 6 inches long, those flowers, and you end up these lovely bracts, and then out of these bracts comes these lovely sort of bell-shaped flowers with those stamens smothered in pollen, smothered in nectar, and they just cascade from this plant all the way through the summer into the autumn, and even then it's not over, because they produce the most wonderful dark black shiny berries. Its other common name is pheasant eye as well, because the berries look like a pheasant's eye. They've got that shiny...
I was going to ask that. That's my next question.
Yeah, pheasant eye berries is another name for it. It's a tough shrub, this. It will grow in clay, it will grow in sandy soils, it will grow in full sun, part shade. It comes back year after year. It will have our hardiness guarantee. I'm almost convinced of that. It gets to a couple of metres tall, but you can prune it down late winter, early spring if you want to. It sends up these lovely shoots. And this plant you see here, this is taken from the stock outside. Right. And one thing I've noticed, Charlie, already...
So picked at random.
Look, flower buds. So there's a really good chance.
Ready to go then, that one.
So, and this is typical. So I would be really surprised if yours didn't flower this year, because they're already developing flower buds. This is the quality of the plant we send out to you. I mean, that discount price there, £15.29.
Stop it, I know.
The club price there is just absolutely phenomenal.
It's a gorgeous shrub, isn't it?
It's just got so much going for it.
It really has. So the leaves, even when you mention the transition of colour of the leaves, the berries, but the flowers, and there's something just so sweet about how they do this facing down. So as you're growing up, and then you got these facing down, the direction of how these grow is actually very pleasing to the eye. They're
just incredible. I mean, I do actually say to people sometimes, if you gave somebody like 30 seconds to describe this flower to somebody who'd never seen it without showing them a picture, I think you'd struggle a bit, to be honest.
You would. Where do you start?
Where would you start? Yeah, because there's so many facets to that flower. It's so different.
There's something so unique and special about that. And so if you'd like to get yours home, where are you going to place this in your garden? The golden lanterns, the pheasant berry. So £17.99 is excellent value. But if you're in the club, lowers even more. And don't forget, type in YGTV2425 for free post and packaging. So if you need to shop with us, wherever you're buying from this live show, we're here on the east of England, Adam and I, from the YouGarden nursery, directly from here to your door. Get that free post and packaging on anything we're going through here. And you can watch the show back as well if you miss some items. Right, OK, so we've got the hydrangeas here. These get really big, don't they?
They do. I mean, this is marvellous, this one. This gets to about 1 metre to about 1.2 metres tall. But this one, I always get the name wrong on this one. I tell you what, this one's called Magical Himalaya. I end up calling it Matterhorn, because we have got one called Matterhorn. But I'm in the wrong mountain range with that one.
Easily done.
So I knew it was named after a mountain, but I get it confused. But you won't get it confused when you get it home. You'll just be absolutely joyful about this one, because you've got this sort of paniculate type of flower on these. And the paniculata hydrangeas have these conical flower heads, and they're also the easiest to prune, because people get in a bit of a fluster sometimes about how to prune hydrangeas. This one, if it gets too tall for you, late winter, mid-spring, cut it down to whatever height you want it to be, and all the beautiful new shoots that come through will flower the same year, and yours will flower for you this year, because this is what we're sending out to you. You can already see the flower buds. Almost every stem on here has got a flower bud. You'll get these almost 6 inch tall, huge, great big flower heads on here. And they start off like a limey green colour. They have sort of hints of limey green, and then as the flowers open up, they become a gorgeous sort of pure white. So you get that colour change as well. And don't be in too much of a hurry to deadhead at the end, because the flower heads can look quite nice left on for a little while. But you can see here, I mean, just so much flower to come on that. You might sporadically get some more flowers throughout the summer, but if you want a hydrangea that's going to give you drama above beautiful deep green foliage, and that plant, goodness me, that should be that garden centre near me, the one beginning with F, that would be $29.99 there.
Really?
Any day of the week.
You can just expect that on the pot. You know, when you cycle it around, oh, there's the price.
Yeah. But
you'd expect that, wouldn't you? Totally.
I mean, this is a glorious plant. It's a hardy plant. It will come back for you year after year after year. Full sun, part shade, part sun, sort of moisture at ground level. Although this is another one of those hydrangeas, once it's established, it's actually quite drought tolerant, this one. So it's not particularly fussed about having damp soil all the time.
There, isn't it?
The pollinating insects will adore it. You'll see the bees, the butterflies, the lacewings, the hoverflies will be buzzing about over this. Gets to about 1 metre tall. You could grow it in a pot or a container if you want to, easily. A 30 litre, 35 litre pot would be good. You could grow it in one of the kind of large Somervilles or olive planters.
Yeah.
I'll grab one actually.
Oh, they're over there. We're trying to subtly find them then, but we've got 30 litre pots. Joy, if you'd like to go for these hydrangeas, 511-615. We've got more emails to read out shortly, so do hang on in there.
Yeah, so one of us, I mean, this one is one of the older types.
Sturdy, aren't they?
Yeah, the new one has got the drainage on it, but one of these would be absolutely fine for that. It could live in here quite happily. There's enough soil, and it'll stay moist because of the volume of soil. That's not bad.
69 for 4 of them. These are Italia made, aren't they, these ones too? These are the UV stable. They're very, very sturdy for £16.99.
And these are going to last for just ages. I mean, they are so rigid, they're so strong. It's like the handles. I do these things sometimes where I pull in the handles and you can see look, white knuckles there. Well, I'm not faking this. I've really given it some. In fact, I actually said to Matt, you could actually work out with this. If you did this every day, you could build your pecs up.
I mean, I go to the gym about twice a year. It's not good value, so maybe I should get there.
But yeah, these are phenomenal, and definitely if you wanted to grow the sort of the magical Matterhorn in this, you definitely could.
So
not Matterhorn, Himalaya.
So you could put fruit trees in these,
Yeah, well, if you've gone for the
peas,
fruit tree collection, the Lucky Dip.
Oh yes, it's on the show.
Yeah, you could grow those in here, definitely. And we've got larger ones as well if you want.
Absolutely, just for maintenance, just for weeding, just so to have next to you as you're deadheading, as you're pruning, that's going to be great. And even bringing logs into the house for your log burning in the winter, it's going to be useful all year round, aren't they? And 30 litre, it's actually a good all-rounder when it comes to sizing there, I think.
Yeah, it's a nice size. You could grow your tomatoes in there. You could use them for storage. You might want to go out in the garden, put your trowel in there, your gloves, like Sean's doing, your secateurs, your bits and pieces. One thing I'd say people could use them for, actually, if you harvest your potatoes, you might be harvesting your new potatoes and all a bit muddy, just pop them in there, put the hose on that blast mode, blast the spuds, and it acts like a giant colander, so all the soil will wash out the holes at the bottom.
That's a good idea.
And you've got lovely clean spuds to take indoors.
I actually built some soil on some gravel, so I could put the gravel in there, rinse it and do all that. I mean, not the most exciting of ideas, but the point is, you're always going to find use for them. Anyone in the garden, no matter what garden, what size, you're going to find use. Even just planting them. It's £16.99 for 4 of them. Give one to the in-laws, your neighbours. It's 130011. Whilst it's here live at that deal, I won't miss out on that. Well, thanks so much for everyone who's joining us. We've got lots more to go through. We're about halfway through the show. Yes, we're here until 12:30 today. Adam's on TikTok this afternoon as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So
busy day.
Yeah. It's a busy day every day here, actually. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
It's that time of year. So it's we're coming up to sort of the longest day now. Everything's growing like crazy. We've got the warmth. We've got the long days.
Things are really coming out now.
It's amazing. I mean, you walk out in your garden every day now, don't you? And it's almost overnight. Things have grown a couple of 2 or 3 inches.
I was worried about my agapanthus. Honestly, I was lost sleep over them, but they're nearly there now.
Good.
And I was worried. I knew it wasn't dead because the leaves were still there, but I was a bit worried about them. But every single night now, when you go out every single morning, it's lovely to see. It's just everything's coming to life, and all of these, everything on the show is ready to plant, including some of these ones. Right, the cherry bush, oh yeah, the pothos, this is magnificent. This is one of the most intriguing deals we got for you this morning on YouGarden, because yes, you can expect these gorgeous, sweet, beautiful large cherries. So picking them, eating them, it's going to be a joyful family occasion. But you've got the gorgeous foliage there, and if you're multi-buying these, they can become really, really substantial. Create bushes out of them. Why not? You know, long hedgerows. But you've got the gorgeous flowering of these too, the most lovely cherry blossom-like effect, and people love it for that reason too. So you've got the romance of the colour, the flowers, the foliage, and of course, gorgeous, juicy cherries. And you're not paying anything anywhere near the usual price. Usually, you would expect to pay about £29.99, £30 worth for this. It's £21.24 if you're a club member. And if you use the offer code on the bottom too, YGTV2425, free postage and packaging. So if you're in the club, delivered to your door for £21.24. It's ridiculous price. I love it. I love these deals. Right, how about this Australian bluebell? These are evergreen. They're climbers. You get the most gorgeous, gorgeous petals of colour. People see blue, people see purple. What do you see? What colours are you going to see here? I think it's a cross between there. It's a funny one, but some slightly different tones of blue. I'd say primarily blue with a hint of purple, who knows? But with bluebells, people pause and they take a breath and they just admire them in their beauty. That's what you're going to have in your garden. Where you're going to climb these, where you're going to position them. It's 510972. That is beautiful. Talk about variety on the show, you know. Well, we keep going. How about this? The cannas. Now, I've got some raised beds. These can grow fairly tall. The beautiful, beautiful leaves there. They're quite striking, exotic. They look quite architectural from the leaves. They go quite large, but then you get this beautiful tower of colour. People love cannas, and if you're going to get some more for your garden, if you've been in the market for some, then go for these. They're already quite established, you know. As soon as you plant them in, straight away, whether it's pots, beds, borders, you're going to have instant injection of colour. From those leaves alone, they're worth it. They're so big. It's £15.27, so 450164. Now, when it comes to growth, when it comes to adding patches of colour, well, these could be little sections in your patio. This could be on your garden wall. This could be filling in gaps in your beds. You get 12 of these, and it can look like something like that after about a year. They grow, they spread so very quickly. You can contain them if you want to, but I would just let them sing in all their beauty. It's 480358. You get a variety of colour there. You get about 5, I believe. I might have to check that. But you get a nice range, a nice variety. For £12.73, you get so much for 12 of them. Just over £1 each. £1 each, and that could grow to, you know, like a classic dustbin lid size. One of them can become that in about a year. For just over £1 each. It's brilliant. It's 480358. So you might have a whole bed full of them. You might have gravel gardens. You just want patches. You might want to spread them out, or you might want to have a dedicated section in your garden for these. Go for the phlox. They call it a carpet of colour, don't they? It's 480358. Now the cornilla. It's really exciting, this. The most beautiful sweet scent you get from them. Yes, you get the gorgeous flowers, of course, you get the beautiful pops of colour, that gorgeous, gorgeous lemon zingy yellow, but that contrast with the deep foliage, the green, is really a sight to behold here. For £15.27, it's a bargain. It's 567. Now, this is the coronet, the Sweet William Dianthus. I love the magnitude of colour, the ones on the bottom there. Oh, stop it. I keep making these noises, sorry, I can't help it. They're just so gorgeous. The transition of colour on each and every petal is just beautiful. Quite simply beautiful. You get 20 garden-ready plants here for £14.43. Less than £1 each. Normally they'd be over £1 each, but now they're less than £1 each, especially for your club member. It's 410210. bargain price. If you're new to shopping with us, then very well welcome. It's my first day here too. But Matt and Adam, they're holding my hand. It's at YouGarden.com. Go to the website. If you click on live deals on the top right-hand corner, scroll down, you'll see all of these bargains. Now, the lobelia, do you know what? As Adam mentioned earlier, people often see these as fillers, but no, as Becky said, they become their own thing. In planters and containers, maybe hanging baskets, cascading of the size of beds. For £11.03 for 20, that's sensational value for money, really. It's 410071. Okay, we're talking about the website. How do you shop? Here it is, YouGarden.com. This is what you'll see when you land on the page. The amount of knowledge on here is incredible. The way everything's divided, if you're looking for different themed gardens, if you want to pair things up, then have a look at the drop-down menus, they're great. But if you click live now, this is what's relevant today. Scroll down, and we've got these deals live here. We're on YouGarden TV. You may be watching us on YouTube, on Facebook, maybe through the website here, but this is the urgent one. This is what Adam and I are showcasing right now. We've dropped the prices for this morning, and if you, the Snowbell, by the way, I haven't looked at that yet. The mock orange, it's magnificent, isn't it? Look how it is. That's how it supplies. It actually looks better than that now. It's in flower at the moment. Yeah, so that's what you can expect to get home. Instant beauty for your garden, like £14.99 for the mock orange. Yeah, we've got more to go through, but there's some we haven't even had time to visit yet. So click live now, scroll down, and go through all of those deals. Have a look. What sings to you? What do you find attractive? Okay, when we talk about this code is so very important. No one wants to pay P&P. That gives you free postage and packaging wherever you're going to be buying from this live show. Before you check out, add it into the box, YGTV 2425, and you're going to get that free P&P. You literally see it go down to zero. And if you are a club member, you're going to get the lowest prices. If you're not a club member, it's £10 today for the year. That's it. It auto-renews. You can pay the £20 for the non-renew, but I'd go for the auto-renew. It can pay for itself so very quickly. It's a special offer at the moment, that auto-renew. Normally 20, now it's £10. You get 15% off your gardens and accessories. You get 7.5% off outdoor living and machinery, like, your hardware goods and so on. But you also get £20 worth in product vouchers. That's 4 times £5 each. And you can actually use them in the same day if you wanted to. You use one per order, of course, but you can use them in a confined time frame. You get 2 free P&P vouchers and exclusive offers and expert gardening knowledge. It's so good. We have so many people, thousands of you are YouGarden Club discount members, so thanks very much. If you're joining today, then go for it. Right, should we whiz down these? Because it goes quick, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it's surprising how the time catches up on you, actually. Because it's when you're passionate about plants, you just want to keep talking about it.
There's so much to say, isn't there?
There is, but yeah.
I love your passion, Adam. I really do.
Yours as well, Charlie. No, it's lovely to work with you today.
It's a great show. The peace rose, this has been one of the biggest selling items, biggest selling plants today on YouGarden TV. Well, why do you think that is then, Adam?
Well, I mean, this plant has got incredible history, and if you've got a moment, have a kind of a Google on this and have a look through the history. This rose has probably sold more than any other rose ever kind of bred. It's the parent rose to hundreds and hundreds of other types of roses as well, and in its own right, it's phenomenal. It's beautiful. Look at the flowers there. I mean, look at the colours. You've got the sort of yellows. You've got apricots in there. You've got that tinge of pink around the edge, and it's one of those flowers that sort of transitions through different colours as the flower ages. It's got a lovely fragrance as well. It's beautiful upright stems.
Wow. Did you hear what I heard there?
I did, yeah.
By 1992, is it, sorry, over 100 million of these have been sold from various different portals. That is magnificent.
So it's pretty...
I mean, if you've got a peace rose in your garden, there's something so symbolic about that, because yes, it's beautiful, but when it's got such an important story and symbolism and legacy behind it, that makes...
Yeah, because it nearly wasn't
makes
here.
all the difference, doesn't it?
This rose was rescued. This rose was being bred in France. And unfortunately, France was being invaded, during the war. They thought they were going to lose the nursery. They managed to get cuttings of this plant out to different other places, and it was
safe. So if that, for a bit of something went wrong there, then we may have lost them.
Yeah, we might have never seen the peace rose. And not only that, all the other roses that have been bred, interbred kind of from the peace rose, they wouldn't have existed either. So, this rose has changed history, and it could have changed history in different ways. But luckily, it's changed history in a positive way.
Yes,
and people at the sort of end of the war, I think there was like a UN delegation. People. Yeah, the first meeting
of the United Nations,
of the UN. And every delegation from each country was given one of these peace roses.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And that was kind of the symbolism of this rose. That's what was incredible about it. And today, in your garden, you're going to enjoy this rose. Single flowers. It's a hybrid tea rose, so you get those lovely upright stems. You get flower heads on this rose, probably about this size. I mean, they are big flower heads. Yeah. Lovely fragrance, super double blooms on there as well. The blooms last a good sort of 10 days or so, and it's repeat flowering. So deadhead, you'll get more shoots, and it will repeat flower for you all the way through to the autumn. Disease resistant, easy to grow, hardy, lifetime guarantee on that. It's fabulous.
There you go. Yeah, Google it, like Adam said. There's lots of information. Normally £29.99, but at the moment £16.99, and if you are a club member, it's £14.44 for something so important. Now's the time to get your own rose piece. It's your own piece rose. Sorry, it's a 530023. Now the next one we got. If I had to choose my top three, this would be in there.
They're lovely. These are Gaura.
I need this.
Yeah, Sisiscu, Gaura Lindheimeri, Sisiscu, pink flowered. If you've got poor soil, if you've got gravelly soil, sandy soil, stony soil, really just awful new build soil, and you want a perennial that's going to grow, providing it's got sunshine and well-drained position, this will do it. And they're not fussy. All Gaura want to do is just flower their little hearts out all the way through summer, like these little butterfly-like kind of flowers on the top there in this lovely soft pink colour, and not just a solid pink either. You look at each individual flower, they almost look unique.
Different intensities of pink there, isn't there?
Yeah, they flush differently depending on where the flower is. They're flowering now, they've been flowering. We could be bringing these back into the potting shed in July, August, September, even October. They'll still be flowering. And all I'd suggest to you is, once the main flower spike in the middle has finished flowering, clip that flower spike off. That'll encourage more flower spikes to come up from the side, and you're just going to keep getting this beautiful blue flower, or pink blue, I don't know where blue come from, this beautiful pink flower all the way through to the autumn. And as Charlie just pointed out as well, the contrast between the flower colour and the foliage is really nice as well.
There's something magnificent about that. I find that so attractive, and there is something just Mediterranean about this. I want to put this in the same bed with some lavender or something on there.
And it would love that. It would. That's where I can imagine that. Yeah, because this does really well once it's established. It'll do really well in very poor soils. In fact, I wouldn't put this in very rich soil, because otherwise you'll get a lot of foliage and less flowers. If you stress this plant a little bit and think of like the conditions of lavender that's when it'll flower the most for you. And it's hardy, it'll come back year after year. Easy.
Good value for money, therefore. So get colour straight away, and look forward to it again next year and year after that and year after that. £12.72. So it's such a lot for your money. It's brilliant. Delivered for £12.72 if you're in the club and you type in the code. Whether you're in the club or not, you can still get free postage and packaging. YGTV2425. Type it in before you check out, and you'll see the P&P reduced to 0. So 560898. Now we've got the soft fruits here. It's so fun getting a lucky dip. I think it's a fun way to shop, because you don't quite know what's going to come through your door, but whatever it is, it's going to be well looked after and well nurtured.
Well looked after, well grown on. These are 9 centimetre pots, but they're almost like 2 litre sized plants. So you could get black currants or blackberries.
Blackberries, do you know what, they're lovely.
Red currants.
Do you know what, red currants would be lovely.
Cambridge favourite, that's a really nice variety of strawberry, that one. And Taberries, I adore Taberries.
They're not raspberries then? Though.
Well, they are a raspberry and they're a blackberry. They're a cross.
Oh, I didn't
know. So basically, the thing is, raspberries are often sweet, aren't they? But they're quite small.
Yes.
And blackberries sometimes can be quite big fruit, but you pop them in your mouth and sometimes they can be a bit like, a bit sharp.
Yeah, a bit tart.
So a bit tart. So what they've done, they've crossed the two of them, so now you get big fruit that are sweet. Easy.
I've never. Are they nice? Have you
they're
eaten
lovely.
one? Because I've never eaten them.
You don't really see them in supermarkets because they don't travel well. That's the thing. And because if you can leave a tayberry on till the last minute, because you know sometimes when you pick something like a raspberry or a tayberry, and you pick it, and there's that little kind of bit left on the bush that the fruits come off of. That's called the receptacle. So when the fruit comes away from that receptacle, that's when it's perfectly ripe.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
if the supermarkets tried to pick them at that stage and package them and send them to you, by the time you got them, they'd be mush. There'd just be
So they wouldn't travel.
They wouldn't travel. But when you grow them in your own garden, whoa, they are so nice. Yeah, really, really sweet, gorgeous, really, really lovely.
Have you got tayberry? How do you eat them? So you can make like tayberry pie then, I suppose.
Yeah.
You could be getting this. Have you eaten one? Can you comment on YouTube? Email us in. How would you describe them? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. But you could get that. You could get red currants. It could be black currants. It could be strawberries. Who knows? It's a lucky dip. So you get 3 of them for £12.72. That's just over what, £4 a piece. That is brilliant. So 310195.
And this little blackberry has already got flowers on as well. Can't guarantee yours will have, but that's how advanced these little fruit trees are.
They are ready to plant, and well, everything's ready to plant. Now the Petit Jenny. This has also been a firm favourite today. There's something just so tranquil about looking at this, and it's so sweet, isn't it?
Look at those fluffy heads of pink flower. Aren't they lovely? This
is charming.
This is a relative of our native. There's a native plant. It's a single flower type. It's called ragged robin. I think it's Lychnis flosscuculi is its common name, or Latin name I should say. And this is like a hybrid of that. So this has got super double flowers. This is really nice if you're trying to create a sort of a wild garden kind of look, or a meadow, or a what's the other word I'm trying to think of? Like a prairie kind of planting. This would look nice with grasses, for example. Or if you grew this and then grew Verbena bonariensis in between it, you get that beautiful mix. Lovely flower heads, as Charlie mentioned earlier on, that just sort of flutter in the breeze, which is really nice. Long flowering period, lovely rigid upright stem supporting those flowers, and you've got the lovely foliage at the base there that sort of hugs the ground in a rosette. So yeah, a really beautiful plant. There's 3 in 9 centimetre pots, really well rooted, ready to go straight out in the garden. And they'll just bring that happy, cheerful, whimsical kind of feel.
It is something whimsical. I actually like the stems. You know, they're quite thin, aren't they? They allow it to just sway beautifully well. They're gorgeous, you know, and just the most charming, elegant pops of colour there. But that paints a particular atmosphere in your garden there. It's a joy to look at there. The Petit Jenny, and it's a sweet name as well. It's cute. Right, £16.98. Normally $29.98, the RRP, but you're getting a big saving, not far off half price for club members. So it's £561,335. Right, the Geum. This is the first one we looked at this morning. It's been popular, and do you know what? I know you're a big fan of this one.
I am, and if you've got some empty spaces in your garden and you want to Geum up a bit, then you could use these.
Stop it.
These are phenomenal.
You've been waiting for that. Leaf it out.
For a lifetime. Leaf it out, I like it. Yeah.
Oh,
so, and these are great as well, because these ones form that lovely rosette of leaves that sort of hugs the ground, and then sort of up to about sort of 12 inches, perhaps even a little bit taller, you get many flower heads of these, with these super double gorgeous flower heads like this. And I know they got the idea of pumpkin because they've got that pumpkin look, haven't they? That pumpkin shape.
It's got a particular presence. That
it has.
Little orbs of fiery orange in your garden.
So if you want that hot garden look, that Mediterranean look, these are great. And these are tough plants. They'll get through the frost, they'll get through the snow. Look at that there. I mean, that is an absolute mass of these orbs of gorgeous orange there.
So, would you, if you want to contain them? I mean, would you cut them back a bit? How would you do that?
Well, the actual.
Or do you not need to?
No, you don't really need to kind of prune them back, because what they'll do, they'll form a little kind of dome on the soil. Eventually, this plant would probably get to about the width of this little wooden box. So that would be kind of its foliage of footprint. But then it sends up loads and loads of these flower spikes, and they get up to about that kind of height. And once this plant's established, you could have 10, 12, 15 flower spikes per plant, deadhead them after they're finished flowering, and then you get more flower spikes come back a little later in the year and just keep that flowering going for you. These are hardy, super frost hardy. They'll get through the snow, they'll get through the frost, pretty drought tolerant once established. Grow them in full sun, part shade, fronts of beds and borders. Grow them in pots or containers. They're reliable, they're different, they're unusual.
They are, aren't they?
Got that beautiful hot orange colour to them with a little yellow, almost little bits of yellow tips on the edge of the leaves. Divine. I love these.
It's one of those plants that it's going to be so exciting. The anticipation of waiting for that to bloom is going to be a wonderful thing. John, thanks so much again for your emails. We've had more come in. We've had one from Mauricia. Mauricia, thanks so much. Oh, all about the Pride of Madeira. Oh, lovely. Pride of Madeira. After believing this was going to die, these are the flowers coming through. Here we go. Let's have a look at these. There it. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, you've got that silvery kind of green foliage there. And yeah, I'm glad that's going to flower for you this year, because in another sort of 4 or 5 weeks' time, you'll have those wonderful blue flower spikes.
And they come out quite quickly, don't they?
They do,
actually?
Yeah. And they are proper blue. There's no argument.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no argument, purple or blue. They're blue, really blue.
Little towers of blue. Joel, thank you so much. There's more. This is... Oh, another one from Mauricia. This is... Oh, OK. Oh, is that from the same one? I'm not sure which one this is from. Bear with. Oh, first courgette coming on. Oh, wow, you got courgette. Do you know what? A homegrown courgette, they take me back. They are beautiful.
Love courgettes.
Yeah, do you know? Oh, a bit of butter on them will stop it.
Put them in some ratatouille or kind of fry them in batter.
You're a bit of a cook, Adam?
Yeah, I love cooking. Yeah, no, I really enjoy cooking. Yeah, and especially when you grow your own homegrown stuff as well.
Yeah, it's just magnificent.
It's just so fresh, isn't it?
Honestly, it's just the whole the process is just a lovely, lovely thing to be able to do. Well, maybe you're going to be growing them in this compost. And do you know, how would you describe this to someone who's never bought this before? Because I'm used to those big bags. It's like pulling out mud and it can smell. Those, you know, those DIY store ones. This is nothing like that.
This is airy. It's light. It's cool. It's fresh. It's almost kind of therapeutic, actually. Just kind of,
isn't it?
And it's weird. No matter who comes on the show, once they stand in front of this compost, almost instinctively, everybody starts doing this.
Yeah.
And I think the reason being is because it feels so nice.
It feels unique.
It does.
Compost.
Yeah.
It feels like aerated.
It does, and that's the good thing about it. That's that composted wood fibre. It's keeping the texture of this compost really nice and open. It's letting the air penetrate, which is good because the air can get down to the roots of the plants. It's actually letting the water go down through as well, and also, if you're a tiny little plant, you can get your roots down into this, or a seed or something like that, for example. You've got the slow-release fertiliser feeding your plants for up to 6 months. It's pH balanced, so it's not too acid, it's not too alkaline.
So it's a good all-rounder then, therefore.
You've got that wetting agent. And if you was to come round to my garden and look into my greenhouse, you will see on the right-hand side 6 30-litre heavy-duty pots filled to the top with this actual compost, 3 cucumbers in one, 3 tomatoes in the other.
Oh, right.
I've used this compost every year, and I've already got cucumbers now. In fact, I've got too many. I'll be giving them away again. I've already got cucumbers this long, and I've already got little trusses of tomatoes developing, and I gave some to Sean as well because I grew too many.
Oh, wow.
In this compost.
So it thrives in this then?
My cucumbers are growing like insanity. I mean, they grow about this much every day.
I'll need to see pictures next time.
Yeah, I will. I need to get some pictures.
We have so much good reviews on this.
So if you want to grow, repot your house plants, if you want to grow seeds, cuttings, fruit, vegetables, flowers, if you want to improve the soil in your beds and borders, hanging baskets, if it's green and it grows, it's going to like being in this compost.
Well, I think, you know, if you're going to spend the time gardening, you know, who wouldn't want a really good start for your plants, you know, and shrubs, trees, whatever. This is going to be perfect to have. It's worth every single penny. Right, £21.23 if you're a club member for 2 50-litre bags. Now that's, I've been told, is actually the best ever price for club members. So if you're stocking up, or if it's going to be the first thing you buy from us here at YouGarden, that is worth it. This morning is the time, folks. See, at 100125, the crew have been telling me the feedback they get from this is just extraordinary. Right, okay, now we've also got some farmyard manure here. We've got a video to show you this, £15.29. We're big fans of this. You guys are. I know Sean also is a huge, huge advocate of the farmyard manure.
So I'm just adding our professional farmyard manure. to this area. The reason I'm doing it is because I've got this huge eucalyptus. In a nutshell, it zaps every bit of moisture and nutrition from this entire area. So it's really difficult to grow things underneath it. This makes a huge difference. So first of all, it really improves the texture of the soil. If you've got maybe heavy soils, it can really help in terms of drainage. And also just things like whatever you're planting, when you actually add this, it just allows those roots to get so much more in terms of nutrients. Now, it's very rich in NPK, your nitrogen, your phosphorus, your potassium. That's going to help with the total development of the plant. And actually, healthier plants mean that they're far more disease resistant as well. Also, as I mentioned, improves texture of the soil. So if you've got heavy soil, it can help improve drainage. Funny enough, it also suppresses weed growth as well. It makes the soil a little bit more opaque, so it's harder for weeds to grow. Another advantage, it improves microbial activity, so everything that's happening inside it is also boosted. There's just so many wins of actually adding this to your soil. Great if you've got raised beds and you're growing crops, you know, your fruit and veg. Great in container planting as well. And you'll be pleased to know there is no nasty smell. This manure has been really, really well broken down, so it just smells like regular compost. And I tell you what, I know that if I do this whole area, I will be able to grow some really, really nice plants, and they're going to be so much more healthy and so much more vigorous.
Oh, John, that's going to give your soil such goodness, isn't it, there?
It's going to give it substance, and also because it's organic, so
yeah,
you're going to stimulate all the soil bacteria, nice and natural. It's going to give it bulk. And under a really dry eucalyptus tree like that as well, where you're going to struggle to get things to grow, if you use good old cow manure, you're going to bring life to the soil, and it's going to give you more options to plant more things.
Yeah, it's so traditional as well, isn't it?
It is.
You know, it's well broken down too, so it's going to give your soil a world of good for £15.29. So 100148. Now, we've got lavender here, the head coat. This is a classic. This is absolute classic when it comes to lavender.
It is a classic, especially up where I live in Norfolk, because you've got the Norfolk lavender fields there as well.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and actually I'm going to give you that, Charlie, to have a whiff, because
go on.
it's gorgeous, isn't it?
You know what? It's a little bit. It's got that classic traditional lavender smell, which you'd want that scent. But it's a little bit citrusy.
It is, yeah. It is citrusy.
It's magnificent.
It's zingy. In fact, I've got a bit of a hay fevery thing this morning. Almost smelling that. Almost kind of just clears your passages a bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
It's very refreshing.
It is. It's lovely.
You'd welcome that every time you come across it, that gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance in your garden. You know, people, when it's established, people have offcut to make lavender bags. Going back to my craft days, you know, people have like lavender bags for wardrobes and chests of drawers and things. That's going to be beautiful.
And I tell you what else, I've actually eaten lavender biscuits.
Oh, right, I haven't done that.
And lavender ice cream.
I've eaten most things, as you can tell, but that lavender ice cream.
And honestly, I'm going to be up front, right? I thought, I'm going to try this lavender ice cream, and it's going to taste like toilet duck. That's what I thought. But honestly, it didn't. It tasted really, really nice.
So is it quite strong then?
It's quite strong, but not. You know, you think like you're going to be using some sort of surface cleaner sort of flavour, like because.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Honestly, lavender ice cream is gorgeous. Now you see this picture here with that hedge.
Yeah.
If you wanted to sort of go out and create a hedge like that, and you went to a garden centre and you decided you're going to create that hedge using 2-litre pots, you could spend a couple of £200-300.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Creating a hedge that size. And the thing is, if you go out and buy lavender in really big pots, already kind of very well established, basically that lavender is going to be half to 3/4 of the way through its natural life cycle, because lavender isn't the longest lived shrub in a kind of a nice neat sense in the UK.
So this is the perfect age to buy it.
This is brilliant because you're going to get 5, 6, 7, 8 years out of these little plants. So, and you can create a hedge like that cheaply. I mean, for a fraction of the cost of buying those plants.
So how would you space these apart then?
So if you wanted to grow these as a hedge, I'd put these at least 12 inches apart, 12 to 15 inches apart. And admittedly, they'll look a bit daft to begin with, but in the first year, if you wanted to, in those gaps, you could put some bedding plants while they're growing. So just fill in between with those. You could put some of our lobelia if you wanted. I know it trails, but you can leave it as ground cover. But what you're getting with this one, and this is what we call one of the English lavenders, sort of Hidcote or Munstead, you're getting a lavender that's very, very, very deep purple. You're getting lovely upright flower stems as well. You're getting a plant that's nice and compact. You've got that evergreen foliage, which looks good all the year through. You've got flowers that are attracting all the pollinators. I mean, you can see there's a beautiful butterfly. I know the other insect. I can't remember what it's called.
Butterflies just perched on those flowers.
They love it.
Sight
so much nectar on these.
Yeah.
And this beautiful, beautiful mass of purple flowers for a long period of time. You can dry the flowers. You can do so many things with lavender. And these are just perfect little plants. They're multi-branched. You can put them straight in the garden now. We're only kind of mid-June. By the end of the summer, these would have already gone to about that sort of height. And then next year, they'll be flowering. They'll start flowering for you next year. Great way to create a hedge, or you can plant them in pots.
Yeah. Down pathways, I love it. I love them in gravel gardens.
Yeah,
it's got good
lovely.
soil.
Again, reverting back to your example, Charlie, what you've got in your garden, if you've got raised beds and you perhaps want a nice sort of hedging plant to go around the edge of the bed, these would look lovely there. They'd really appreciate the drainage from that raised bed. They'll enjoy the elevation as well because they're getting the light, they're getting the sunshine.
Yeah.
And
so that's going to be perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, and as you walk past as well, you'll brush past that foliage and you'll get that lovely fragrance sort of wafting off the
if you're going to place this next to a garden bench or something, or a seat, it's something just to admire, but you're going to welcome that smell. And some lavender is stronger than others. That's
it's great, isn't it? Yeah,
that won't disappoint. Won't disappoint there. It's lovely. The English lavender, the Hidcote, it is a classic 12 plug plants for £12.73. Is again just extraordinary prices, and it's free post and packaging. Just make sure you use the code YGTV2425 just before you check out, and your P&P goes to zero. So 480396. Right now, talk about variety. If you want to get bursts of energy and colour, then the next collection is going to be right up your street.
And we're covering all the bases here because we were talking about the lavender a moment ago, full sun. Well, this is a plant that will do well in shade, even full shade. So Vinca is really, really amenable. It's very versatile. It can grow in full sun, it can grow in part sun, it can grow in full shade. But you've got 3 varieties here, all with these lovely purple flowers, slightly different sort of purple flowers, but you've also got evergreen foliage. So all the year through, there's always something to look at with these. Now, I'm going to just say one thing quickly, because some of you might have sort of think, oh, Vinca, over my dead body, am I going to grow Vinca?
Oh, really?
Because,
why is that then?
Well, this is what's called Vinca minor, and there's another type of Vinca called Vinca major. Now, Vinca major is a real thug. It has great big leaves.
Weird.
It spreads like crazy, and it can be really, really invasive. And a lot of people rue the day they put the bigger type of Vinca in. This is Vinca minor, hence the much smaller leaves. And this one.
So these aren't thugs then?
No, this is a lovely gentle plant. It's a beautiful ground cover plant. Only ever gets to about 2 or 3 inches tall. Flowers this time of year, flowers through the summer, and it has a weird habit, Vinca minor. They occasionally throw out flowers at odd times of the year when you don't expect them to, but you've always going to have this lovely foliage. So you've got one with the lovely golden coloured foliage here, the one at the front with the silvery edge foliage, and then the other one with the lovely green. So even colour from the foliage on these, but of course you get these beautiful flowers. Look at that lovely purple flower there.
It is lovely.
They're simple, but they're sweet, and you get many, many of them. Great for ground cover, great for shade. You could grow these in hanging baskets if you wanted to, at the edge of raised beds. Where Sean was showing you that picture a minute ago, where he was putting manure under the eucalyptus tree, they would do well somewhere like that. So if you've got an area of the garden that you struggle to get plants to be established because it's dry, because it's shady,
they're really handy. Maybe you've got those patches you struggle with. That's the answer.
Yeah, Vinca would do well in all those positions. You're going to have the great root system on these. Again, I'll tip one out because we always have the lovely root system on all our plants. So there we go, look at that. You can see that really good root system all the way around there. So this is, happy to get in the ground, grow away for you. And one of these, again, over the course of a couple of 2 or 3 years, one individual plant could cover an area about the size of an old-fashioned dustbin lid.
Right, wow.
So, and of course, even when not flowering, you've always got that lovely shiny foliage, which is lovely.
Yeah, it is. And it is like a little satin kind of finish to the foliage. They just bounce off the light. They're really something. And you know what? You've got added interest there, because if you don't always know know when it's going to flower. That's always so interesting. It keeps your attention.
Yeah, but as I say, if the word vinca's come into your head,
don't worry.
Don't worry, because this is not its big brother that will take over a football pitch in about 5 years. This one is humble, it's hardy, it will come back year after year, but it kind of grows slowly, ground cover, a really lovely, beautiful collection there.
Oh, it is, isn't it? And they've got all of that. That's a lot of interest. That's a lot of plant for £16.97. So 511467. If you forget the item numbers, don't worry. Go to YouGarden.com, click on live, just the button on the top right-hand corner. Scroll down, you'll see all of these live deals today at these remarkable prices. Now the next one's no exception. The blueberry collection. So we get 3 varieties here.
We get 3, and the good thing about this collection is there's 3 in here. So there's the early New Hanover, there's Ozark Blue, and there's Blu-ray. So 3 different types.
Right.
Now the reason we put 3 different types in is because they fruit at different times. So rather than get one variety that all fruits in 1 month or a couple of months, you're going to get fruit on these really kind of June, July, August, going into September. So as one variety.
So throughout the summer you're going to get fruiting?
Extended, which is good.
That's fantastic.
So as one variety kind of stops fruiting, then the other one will pick up the baton and keep fruiting for you, and it'll just keep producing fruit all the way through. If you've already got acid soil in your garden, so you've got your rhododendrons, your azaleas, your camellias, and they're thriving in your garden soil, you can plant these in the same soil with those plants. If you want to grow blueberries, you haven't got acid soil, they make phenomenal pot plants, container plants.
Right.
Use our ericaceous compost. That's the only thing I would say. Use our citrus feed as well, because they're acid-loving plants. So if you plant in the ericaceous compost, they're going to thrive. And again, Bex, our lovely, beautiful Bex Edwards, she has grown these in pots, or is growing them in pots, and they're crazy. I mean, Bex put some in about this size last year, and in a year they've trebled in height. In the spring, they were smothered with dozens and dozens of these beautiful white little lantern flowers.
Wow.
And that's another thing. Don't forget, because we mentioned this earlier on, whenever we think of fruit, we immediately think of the actual edible part of the plant. But of course, lots of fruit trees do have beautiful flower on them. And these are the same. They have gorgeous, beautiful lantern-like flowers in the spring. And the autumn colour foliage on blueberries is...
I haven't seen that, actually.
Honestly, Charlie, it's mind-boggling. You get the most incredible reds, oranges, fiery kind of colours, phenomenal, and they're easy to grow, and all they ask of you is plant me in ericaceous compost or ericaceous soil, sunny position, keep me moist, and that's it, and you'll get fruit on these year after year after year. They're pest free, they don't really need pruning very much, easy to grow, and when you pick your own blueberries, at that perfect moment of ripeness, you're going to taste a blueberry like you've never tasted one before.
Actually, I've never had, I love blueberries, but from supermarkets I've had them only, but a homegrown blueberry is something I've never experienced.
And they're easy. They really are easy to grow. If you want to grow these now, get these 3 home. You could plant them in something about the size of one of our 30-litre black pots, our heavy-duty black pots. 3 would probably be okay in one of those, although ultimately you could put 1 in each. They only get to about 60 centimetres tall eventually, nice sort of bushy structure to them, but you will get just oodles and oodles and oodles of blueberries easily, and you can use them in so many ways. You can make jams out of them, you can put them on your Weetabix, you can have them with yogurt, you can drop them into a gin and tonic.
Blueberry pie, classic.
Blueberry pie,
never had one. You know what though, it's beautiful fruit, and yes, you've got that interest. Visually, it's going to be stunning for so many months. I'd go for that. So for £12.72, 310022. You know, you can put it in pots with that ericaceous compost. So is it just the compost? Do you put soil in it as well?
No, just literally use the ericaceous compost
just
on its own.
Easy.
Yeah,
okay.
Straightforward as that. That way they've got the sort of soil conditions that they need. They're going to flourish. They're going to produce lots and lots of fruit. And then going ahead, just get some of our citrus feed if you want, for example, and you can feed them with that, and that just keeps them happy.
Just encourage the leaf
keeps them looking really, really healthy. But
easy.
What you see there, this is what you'll get. You'll get blueberries like this. There's no science or mystique to growing your own blueberries. They are one of the easiest fruits you can grow.
Oh, there you go. Maybe it's going to be the first fruit you grow. Who knows? 310022. Right, now the next one is something I hoping to see this last time I was here, the bottle brush. This is so special, so unique. This just grabs your attention every single time you look at it. I haven't seen anything quite like this, you know.
They're weird, aren't they?
They're so much fun to have.
They're really unusual. And what I particularly like about them is the way that you get the flower, and then the plant decides to keep growing above where the flower head was.
It's extraordinary.
Now, very, very few plants do that. I mean, on this sunflower, for example, you're not going to get a stem come out in the middle of that and then more flowers. Basically, on this, the flower is the end. But this one has that habit, and you can almost age these plants because these little seed heads are almost like kind of little nuts that kind of grip onto the stem. And if you just count how many sets of these are, it gives you a rough idea of how old the plant is. But of course, you can prune it back after flowering if you want to. But what you're getting here is an evergreen shrub, which is really, really gorgeous. You're getting these phenomenally beautiful flowers, adored by the pollinating insects, by the way. The bees, the butterflies, the lacewings will all go crazy for these. And let's test this one, because quite often callistemons have... Yeah, actually, have a whiff of that.
So callistemons normally...
Yeah, they have a menthol.
Oh! Wow,
nice,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do. They have that lovely menthol kind of smell to the foliage as well, which is sort of another addition to this. Now, this particular plant, it likes full sun. That's its happy place. Full sun, really good drainage, a shelter position, and they do very well on poor soils. Again, this is not one you need to fuss or mollycoddle. This will look great, and this would work really, really well. If you're going to sort of multi-buy today and you want a bit of a serving suggestion, I would say go for one of these callistemons, go for 3 of the pink Gaura, and perhaps go for some of our lavenders. They would all flourish in the same area.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and you could have the callistemon in the middle. You could have sort of 3 of the Gaura, kind of equally spaced around the base of the callistemon, underplant with the lavenders, and you've got a Mediterranean, hot, well-drained kind of flowering kind of position there, where they all thrive and do really, really well.
But honestly, you've inspired me. I'm going to be spending a fortune.
But this is.
I hope there's stock after the show, because I want to buy some.
You can kind of, you can sort of come up with these ideas. You can kind of multi-plant, you can create these lovely kind of themes. Now this shrub it'll take a little bit of frost. It'll take sort of -1, -2, kind of thereabouts. But if you're in a colder area, I would suggest growing this in a pot or a container, just so that in the colder weather, you can just sort of keep it out the worst of the frost. Again, it doesn't need mollycoddling. It doesn't want to be in a greenhouse that's 25 degrees.
No.
Even if it's just 2 or 3 degrees above freezing, it's got
take
light.
Take
the edge off, reduce the watering, it'll be fine, and it'll kind of bumble along through the winter in that position. I think Stu said he's got one that he keeps in his porch. So he's got his main front door, he's got a porch front door. He doesn't heat that porch, but it keeps above freezing.
A little bit of shelter, yeah.
And that's fine. But if you're in a milder area, leave it outside, enjoy it.
It should be fun.
You're going to get the beautiful foliage, you're going to get those incredible flowers, and you're going to get a really unusual plant.
Well, do you know what? I love everything on this counter, because we've got something just so unique and special and different, and we've got some classics too. And that, each to their own, but that's what I want in my garden, a mixture. Classics, what people expect, but then I want something that people have never seen before. Maybe this is the first time you've seen this. £16.99, the callistemon, the citronus, it's 510046. Beautiful, beautiful. That's one of the most unique plants we've got on the show, you know. Unique shrubs.
It's good. It's
right, next one we got the Sunbelievable Brown-Eyed Girl. Do you know what? I thought I'd seen sunflowers like this before, but I really haven't. That you get, hundreds, maybe even thousands?
Somebody once said they counted on a bigger plant up to 1,000 buds and flowers. And this one's unique as well, because this plant is unique in the sense this plant can't produce seed. Now, the thing is, I'm going to put it frankly, what most plants want to do is have a little bit of hanky-panky,
right,
and then they want to produce seeds. That's their raison d'etre.
Right, okay.
I mean, when we look at flowers, we think they're for our benefit, but they're not. They're there to attract the bees. The bees pollinate the plant, and then the plant produces seed. And once it produces seed, it says, right, that's it. I'm not going to bother flowering anymore. I've done what I was put on the earth to do. I've created the next generation.
Nature's a wonderful, magnificent thing, isn't it?
This plant, we've frustrated this plant because it can't produce seed. So in an effort to try and produce seed, it just keeps flowering, and it keeps flowering, and it keeps flowering, and it keeps flowering. And the reason is because every time it can't produce seed. So what you end up with is a sunflower that gets to about 60 centimetres tall, and that will flower all the way through, right up until October, November. We've had some of our lovely viewers send pictures in of these where they've seen them. Andrew. Andrew's garden.
Thanks, Andrew.
There's three plants here. He grew 3, but this is autumn. I think he said this was October time. Even in that autumn sun in October, these are still absolutely inundated with these beautiful, beautiful sunflowers. You can deadhead just to keep them looking neat, but you don't need to deadhead to keep them flowering because, as I say, they don't produce seed anyway. They are annual plants, I'll tell you that. So, they only last a year, but I tell you what, talk about, live fast and glorious.
Yeah.
Sort of, die young.
Well,
they do this.
Why not? I mean, for £14.44, just a massive colour, but I haven't seen sunflowers quite like that. In that level of abundance, I haven't seen that. It's the Sunbelievable brown-eyed girl. There you go. I need to sang that to you then.
It really is. I mean, and it's great for kids. If you've got children, if you want to get your children or your grandchildren involved in gardening.
Yeah, sunflowers are classic. They are. Teach them at schools. It takes me back, actually.
And this isn't one of those sunflowers which gives you a 3-metre stalk and a huge, great big flower on top. This is only about 60 centimetres tall, but hundreds, possibly over 1,000 flowers in one season.
It's amazing.
And this plant every day will make you smile. It looks cheerful. It looks happy. It's undemanding. It just wants a sunny spot, well drained, and it'll just give you the most incredible amount of flower. I mean, talk about value for money. This is phenomenal, this plant.
But honestly, each and every petal has got so much character on it, isn't it? It just goes darker and darker and darker. I mean, it's when you look at plants like this, nature is just incredible.
Nature is incredible. It's mind-blowing.
I mean, wow. Wow, it truly is, and something to behold in your own garden. 560-541. Right, we're going to give you a little recap of some other items we've seen, but thanks so much. We've had a busy show, and whatever you're looking for, if you want to get the lowest prices, do become a club member. You get the lowest deals. Right, okay, so this has also been one of the most popular items today, the peace rose. I mean, wow, it's one of the biggest sellers we've had today for £14.44. Ordinarily, going around garden centres and so on, you'd expect a price tag of $29.99. 530-023, but it's the meaning, it's the heritage. It gets its name from, of course, the Second World War. Just Google Peace Rose and you get so much information there. And honestly, Adam shared some of that with us earlier in the show. Do watch the show back on YouTube because there's so much information to take in. 530-023 again for your item number. That is so important to have. I think every garden should have a peace rose there. And it's gorgeous, it goes so big too. Now, this Siskiyou, I think I pronounced that right, pink, I always struggle with that one. This is something I really want because I love a Mediterranean style garden. It's the stems that just look so gorgeous and they just sway beautifully in the wind. The pink is just so pretty. You've got the most charming flowers, but you're gonna have the flowering for the summer, pretty much the whole of the summer with this. The discounted price here is really not to be missed. It's £12.72. I'd want this on raised beds. I'd want this around lavender. Where are you going to have this at home? Just to have that injection of colour in your home is going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous sight. Right, 560-898. Now, talk about variety on the show. We've got a variety of fruits for you, the soft fruit trees or plants. This is something that's really good to snap up. Now, they'd normally be about £10 each, about £9.99 each. It works out to be what? Just over £4 per piece because look, it's £12.72 in the club for the whole collection. It could be strawberries, it could be blackberries, it could be raspberries here, who knows what it could be. But for that value is excellent. Maybe going to have a little dedicated corner in your garden. Maybe going to have a few selection of pots just ready. That's going to be your growing fruit personal collection. Right, 310-195. Okay, next up, the Petite Jenny. This is so sweet. This is another one of my favourites. The way this just elegantly and poetically just sways in the wind is just gorgeous. Yeah, like Adam said, you have got that prairie kind of look to this. If you just want that, it's like that wildflower look, but contained, it's been nurtured, it's been loved. That's what you've got. They're so light and whimsical, those flowers. They just bloom beautifully well. And it's a lovely soft pink. So £16.98, it's 561,335. Now, the Geums, wow, they call them well, you can see why they call them the orange pumpkin. They do get big, and this could be one plant. You can expect sights like this. You get the most gorgeous globes of fiery orange here. They just add a sense of warmth and drama into your garden. They really do. 561,211, that's £16.97 in the discount club. Love it. If you're not in the discount club, it's £10 for the whole year. And then you can start saving money immediately. So you can sign up today on YouGarden.com, add this to your basket, use the offer code. You still got your free post and packaging, so you can get the lowest price, free P&P, and become a club member for the year. Right, the lobelia, use them for fillers. Lots of people do the lobelias, but these ones, look, that's all they are. That's just lobelia in that pot there. Imagine them cascading over your hanging baskets, over your borders and so on, your raised beds. That's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous sight. So 410071. There's such a lovely natural look to those, don't you think, too? And you're getting 20 of them, 20 garden-ready plants, ready to go straight into your ground. In fact, everything on this show is ready to plant as soon as you get them back to your garden. Right, yeah, YGTV 2425. Add that code just before you check out to get that amazing free P&P. Now, the dianthus, also 20 garden-ready plants here. Every single petal you just want to take a moment and admire because they are stunning. You're going to get a wide variety of colours here. It's 410210 and you're saving £9. You're saving good money here. So to get 20 of them for what's that? £1.40 a piece, whatever. Oh, my maths is terrible. But for £14.43 is extraordinary. It's really good value for money, folks. We've also got the these are the coronets. Sorry, the next one we're going to recap for you. Well, yeah, the coronellas. This is the citrina. 3 9-centimetre pots here. It's £17.97. The most beautiful scented flowers, contrasting against the gorgeous, rich green foliage. It's just a beautiful, classic, magnificent look. So 511567. Another one of my favourites, actually. I knew about them, but when I actually see these, the picture of what these can become, honestly, they're up there, my favourites now. Again, the creeping phlox, the carpet phlox. Just one of them in about the time frame of a year can fill the size of a classic dustbin lid. I know, it's prolific flowering we've got here. So 12 of them for £12.73. It's 480358. If you have any questions of these, I can ask Adam for you. Be lovely to hear from you. Any comments on YouTube, we'll read some more out shortly. We love your interaction. This is what I need to put on in my raised beds. I've got space. I'm saving space for those special some things. I want to get some cannas in there. The flowers, the leaves are just gorgeous. They're massive. They look quite exotic, but you've got these gorgeous, gorgeous blooms too. It's £15.27. They grow quite tall. It's 450164. Now, if you're wondering, right, what compost do you want to choose for your garden? Well, your gardens prefer these. Let's see what Sean has to say with the premium professional compost.
We describe this as premium professional compost. And the reason for that is it is the compost that is known, this formula we have perfected over decades. I've been using it for decades. We have perfected it over decades. You've got a blend of the best peats plus wood fibre that you can imagine. Now, by volume, approximately 50% of this compost is wood fibre, and the balance is made up of a blend of peats, and there are 3 different peats. So you've got things like sphagnum moss peat, which is renewable. You've got sedge peat, and then you've got darker sphagnum as well in there. So you've got 3 different peats. You've also got, you can see actually just there, there's slow release fertiliser. These little green, what look like little eggs, you'll see those dotted among the compost when you're planting it. That's slow release fertiliser. One of the most expensive ingredients in any compost is fertiliser. You can see that there's another one just down below. that is amazing because that will deploy nutrients to the roots of whatever you grow in this compost just when they need it over the next 6 months. You then got what's called a buffer. Now, peat in particular is naturally acidic. And plants like to be just on the acidic side of neutral as a generality. There are exceptions, so things like rhododendrons and azaleas, they love to be properly acidic in terms of the ericaceous soil or compost they're growing in. But most things like it just on the slightly acidic edge of neutral. So that's what this is designed to give you. So it's got a pH buffer to keep it in exactly that zone. The wood fibre keeps the sort of perfect air-water porosity ratio, which is what we talk about in the trade, all these complicated terms. But it's what plants need is they need a jungle gym to grow in. So they need a jungle gym for their roots, which is called growing medium. They need some water, and they need some air, and they need nutrients. And when you've got the perfect compost, it blends the air and the water and the constituents of the compost. It all blends together to give the perfect environment. That's what this particular compost does, which is why it's trusted by us. We will be growing approximately 150,000 potted roses on this nursery this year. That's roughly what we grow most years. We'll be growing, I don't know how many hanging baskets, but our pre-planted hanging baskets that will be available later, you will have bought them in the autumn and last spring as well. They grow in this compost. We will grow countless perennials, whether they be in the 9 centimetre square pots or the 3 litre pots or the 5 litre pots, plus fruit trees. And this is the compost we use for all of those things. So we trust it, the trade trusts it, and actually based upon the literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of bags of this particular compost that you've bought over the years, you definitely trust it as well. And, and actually, peat is a thing. We need to think about peat. Not me. I happen to also be peat, but it's the peat that's in here that we're talking about. We can still use peat in our gardens right now, and actually the alternatives, generally speaking, are a bit iffy. So if you want to get the best results, in my view, use this particular compost for as long as you can. It's got 50% other material in it, which is the lowest level we could get to and still have a professional quality product for you and for ourselves. So we've been as eco-friendly as we can, and we jumped onto that particular that approach years and years and years ago. So this is the same formulation that we've had for at least the last 6 or 7 years, with 50% other material to bulk out the peat, and it still works better. So I would say this is, in my opinion, it's the only compost I use at home. It's the compost we use on the nursery. I can't recommend it highly enough. Yeah.
Well, so as soon as you get that home, just put your hand in it and just feel the differences. It's wonderful stuff, and again, it's so good to give your plants that really good start. £24.98 is brilliant, but now in the club it's £21.23. So good on you if you're going for that. It's 100125. Well, a very well welcome if you just joined us. It's my first day here. I'm Charlie, here with the lovely Adam, of course. Learned so much from Adam, and of course, happy Father's Day to all of your dads out there. Hope you have a lovely, lovely Sunday, and happy Father's Day to my dad too. I'll be calling afterwards. I was going to call earlier, but it's been a busy morning getting ready. We've got about half an hour left on the show, just over. We're going to recap some favourites for you, but before we do, let's have a look at this next one we've got for you today. This is so important to have. It's the foliage I really need in my garden here, you know.
Yeah, this is an amazing plant, this, Charlie, Acacelloiana, and look at the flowers. I mean, the flowers on this are really unusual, really different. Almost like a passion flower kind of flower. Look at this one here. I mean, that is just beautiful. You've got those sort of purple petals, those incredible stamens. Almost like a bit like an avatar kind of flower, this one. You've got the evergreen foliage as well. And these are really good plants for drought situations. They're good coastal plants. They're good plants for windy situations. This can get to about a metre and a half tall eventually. Reasonably hardy, down to -4, -5 degrees. Perhaps in colder winters it might sustain a little bit of damage on the outer kind of stems, but it grows back from further down. But if you're looking for a plant that has got sort of just stunning beauty from flowers, and also at the end of a hot summer, it produces edible fruit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is supposed to taste a bit like a cross between a pineapple and a guava. There's the fruit
Hence
there.
the name. Oh, wow.
I've never tasted one. But yeah, they're meant to be quite sweet, quite delicious. So it's a sort of a multifaceted plant, this one. You've got the evergreen, you've got the flowers, you've got the fruit, you've got the drought tolerance, the fact that it will grow in a windy position, good coastal plant, grow it in a container if you want to as well. Could grow it as a pot plant. You could grow it as a hedge, make a little nice sort of screen, a flowering hedge could be good. And also it does that kind of strange thing where the leaves look a bit different depending on the sort of position you look at them. So when you look at them sort of straight on, they've got that lovely kind of green surface to them, but underneath they have like a kind of a silvery colour. But look at that flower. I mean, goodness me, that's just phenomenal. So beautiful. If you've ever tasted one of these, let us know. Send us an email, because we'd love to know. I've never tried one, so if you've been lucky enough to grow one of these or taste one, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Honestly, I've the first time I've actually seen one of those, and so you hear they're quite sweet. Yeah, it'd honestly be fascinating. I think any chance to grow your own fruit in the UK is just something to grab hold of that opportunity. See what it's like for you.
And it's a bonus, isn't it? It's not always guaranteed you'll get fruit, but if they do, and you get to try them, and they're nice, well, it's a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, absolute bonus. Why not? But because evergreen, you get interest all year round. I think it's got a particular presence to this, and there's so much interest. Things to look forward to year after year for £14.44. Well worth it.
Yeah, that is an insane price, because actually I'm trying to get this out of the pot because I want to show you the root system, but it's so... Come on, out you come. Look.
Wow, yeah, we heard that.
Yeah, so you can see there, look at that. I mean,
that's impressive.
Yeah, that's what we call a broody. I mean, we say rooty, and then the next stage up is broody. That's a broody. Look at the root system. So kind of loosen that up and just tease those roots out a little bit before you plant it. But again, I mean, that garden centre near me, the one beginning with F, whose name I shall never reveal on air, they wouldn't shy away charging you $29.99, perhaps $34.99 for that.
It's kind of the usual price. I mean, they're probably on par, really, aren't they? But we ship this directly to you. We're even broadcasting live here from a nursery in the east of England, so you get it straight to your door, and we get through a lot of stock, which is why we can keep these prices so good. The £16.99 price is excellent. If you're in the club, it's £14.44. And also, if you want to get free postage and packaging, whether you're a club member or not, just type in that code. That's what it's about. That gives you free P&P, YGTV 2425. So that's 680146. That is beautiful. Really gorgeous. Do you know what? We're going to do some email shortly. I'm just going to charge the old pad, then we'll get right back to it. The next one we got here, right, now the bougainvillea, is that pronounced correctly?
Yeah, bougainvillea. Yeah, bougainvillea. Yeah, absolutely.
We've got different colours actually here. We've got a purple, we've got a red. These are stunning, and they've already partly trained for us.
Yeah, they're on those nice little bits of trellis there as well. And these also, these give you that kind of holiday feel. That's the thing, because you know what it's like. You jump on the plane touches down the tarmac, you go through, you get your luggage, those glass doors open at the end, you jump onto the coach, up onto the road to drive away from the airport, and one of the first things you see are oleanders and bougainvilleas.
Yes.
Instantly, it's like, you get this, you see this out, and straight away it's like, I'm on holiday.
Yeah.
I'm in the Med.
If I can bring that home, Adam, then
exactly.
Give me some sangria and I'll look at that.
Don't start me on sangria. I love sangria. So you can bring that lovely holiday tropical feel to your garden, and these are easy to grow outside in a British summer. So once the frost has gone, bring them outside. I've got one that I've kept going now for 5 years. It's just starting to bud up really, really nicely. It's going to have loads of those purple bracts any time now, and it will look like that all the way through, right up until September. I leave mine out even to the middle of October, because we're not really getting frost these days now till November, the way things are going. So you can enjoy these glorious colours. And the true flower is the little flower right in the middle. This is the real flower. These here are what they call bracts, which is a modified leaf. They're really a colourful leaf. So,
bracts, okay.
Yeah, because if you look at that, that's actually, if you look at this leaf here, it's actually the same shape as the petal.
Oh yeah.
So they're just leaves of created colour, but the real flower's in the middle. But the overall effect, when you get that, is stunning. I mean, the purple of this one here is absolutely phenomenal. So if you want to grow these, leave them outside during the summer, just like your citrus fruit. Same principle. Then in the winter, you can bring these in, you can put them on a windowsill in a cool room, a conservatory, somewhere like that, bright windowsill, reduce the watering. They'll keep flowering indoors. They'll quite happily keep going, almost treat them like houseplants if you want to. And then you can keep them through like that, bring them out next spring. Or you can do what I do. I put mine in my greenhouse. And then I have a greenhouse heater that just drops in when it goes down to 2 degrees, keeps it frost free. Mine loses all its leaves because they will shed their leaves under 10 degrees centigrade, but they don't die, they stay alive. And then late winter, spring, mine starts to reshoot and it comes back for me every year. So they're easy to look after, they're easy to keep going from year to year to year. And if you want that glorious colour, if you want that kind of touch of Greece or Spain or Orlando or somewhere like that, or India or anywhere. I mean, I've seen these grow all over the world. I've been lucky to travel to a lot of places. If you want to bring that,
India?
I've been to India.
I've never been.
I've been to India a couple of times.
Wow.
Yeah, mind blowing. India, incredible place. So if you want to bring that holiday feel into your garden with something that is glamorous, that is colourful, that is easy to grow, that just gives you the most zingy, bright, gorgeous, uplifting colour all the way through summer into autumn, go for the bougainvilleas. They're stunning.
I think so. If I can bring holiday into the garden, it's really why I've made kind of theme. I really want that, and it makes you feel good every time you walk into the garden. It's lovely. When do you need to repot this? Do we need to extend the trellis?
You could repot them. If you're going to repot them, though, repot them into ericaceous compost because they like acid soil.
Lovely.
So use the ericaceous compost, use the citrus feed, and just enjoy them from year to year to year.
Well, there we go, 25.49. Here's the website, and if you go to Live Now, so you click Live Now on the top right-hand corner, scroll down, and click that, scroll down, and you'll see them right there. Deals we haven't even gone through yet. Add them to your basket, go to checkout, but before you check out, type in the code. It gives you free postage and packaging, which we've already done. Your total saving there, £20. It's so good. We're really, really proud to offer that. So, if you want to bring a little bit of holiday home, then go for it. Absolutely go for it. But get that saving. And every time you look at it, years to come, if you're sitting down with that cup of tea, cup of coffee, admiring your bougainvillea, then just remember you got it for a really, really good price, Honestly, this is such a cost-effective way of making your gardens beautiful.
That example there was
amazing.
Phenomenal as well. You spend that 50 quid, you join the club, like you're going to save £9.
Yeah.
You're only still a pound short, aren't you, of getting your money back.
So if you're not a club member, pay a tenner to become one today. You've saved £9 immediately. Buy something else, and you're there really, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's it. And you're a club member for the whole year. You can keep buying 15% off plants, accessories. It's amazing. Right, the Geum, the orange pumpkin, this is a firm favourite of us here. We're going to have a proper talk through it. It's the first plant we saw at the start of the show, nearly 2.5 hours ago. My word, it's flown by. We've only got about 20 minutes left, or just over. But this is a beautiful plant that gives you such presence in your garden. It's one of the brightest oranges I've seen for a long time.
Yeah,
fiery.
It is, great big sort of super double heads of flower on this Geum. I mean, you might have grown Geums. They're a really beautiful plant. Quite often they're single flowered. They can be yellow, they can be red, they can be orange, all those lovely hot colours. But this one is that super double flower, beautiful orange with a little kind of hint of lighter orange around the edge there. And these are compact plants. These are bone hardy. They'll come back for you year after year after year. The leaves form like a kind of a little rosette that hugs the ground, and then you get these stems that come up about 12 to kind of 18 inches tall, and they'll produce dozens and dozens of these flowers. They flower they're flowering about now. They're flowering about Chelsea Flower Show time. They flower for a good 4 to 6 weeks. You can deadhead them afterwards, and quite often, a little later in the summer, they'll send out some more random flower spikes and give you that colour and interest again. They're bone hardy, by the way. They're not going to worry about the frost or the snow.
So they're really solid.
Yeah, really drought tolerant once established. They're good for shade as well. They're good for shady areas, but they'll grow in full sun. You can grow them in pots, containers, troughs. You can grow them in beds and borders. I would grow these towards the front of the border if I was going to grow them, though. Just 'cause, they're not the tallest plants in the world, so have them at the front, and then you can have the taller plants in the middle and the really tall ones at the back. Then you get that kind of triangle kind of.
What can you imagine these looking good with in borders then? What would you imagine neighbouring plants? There's loads. Obviously,
well, I think the Gauras. I think orange and pink would work well for me.
Nice,
I tell you what, they would work well with is the lavender, the head coat, because
that's been a popular seller today.
Yeah, orange and purple. They're two colours that work really, really well together. So
it's all colour coordinated. We've got lots of pinks, lots of oranges.
Yeah, it's really up to you. But when it comes to colours, you do what you want to do.
Of course,
I'm not one of these people that tells people I'm not into all that colour wheel stuff and whatever.
I tried to learn it, but it's each to their own, isn't it? You do at home. I'm always interested with people's ideas, though. It's got the Geum, the orange pumpkin. They're just big, beautiful globes of colour. I love them. Right. For your P&P again, YGTV 24.25. If you're in the club, well, £16.97 for 3 of them, 9cm pots. This is so sweet. This is one of the most charming plants we got on today's show.
Charming's a word for these. I mean, talk about pretty in pink. I mean, these really, really are pretty flowers. Look at those. I mean, this is where we've taken our stock from. These plants are out with all these other plants just a few days ago. So kind of what you see here is what you get. These haven't been Chelsea chopped, and hopefully they're not going to be before they're sent out to you. So you'll get these home. And these are kind of a meadow type flower. They do really in sort of grass meadows. You could use them in prairie planting, for example. So if you've got a part of the garden that's got sort of cool, damp kind of soil, doesn't dry out. They look great by streams, ponds. They do well in boggy areas. Right. Part shade to sunny. Perennial, very, very hardy. Will come back for you year after year. A bit like the Geums, they've got sort of ground-hugging foliage that creates a lovely rosette at the base. Then they send up these lovely wiry stems, and they're covered in these stunningly beautiful flowers. These sort of bubblegum pink kind of flowers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a description for the pink. Like a candy floss kind of pink.
Yeah, and they're just lovely, aren't they? These fluffy kind of charming.
They're so cute. They're so pretty. They are charming.
They even feel nice. So they just feel really soft. The flowers.
They are
like cotton wool almost. But yeah, I love them. There's something beguiling about these. They're just so beautifully attractive and unusual. Yeah. And you don't see them very often either. They're just really, really different. And their native cousin grows wild in the UK. Ragged robin, Lychnis flosscuculi is a sort of the wild one. That's single flowered, and through hybridisation, they've come up with this sort of double flowered one. So you could plant this in a wild flower garden. I'm not saying to you this is the actual wild one, but it would work well.
Yeah,
in
it gives you that look, doesn't it? Actually,
and you can see here we've got a white variety behind. So you can see how nice this looks with a white flower, for example. So you could actually grow those two together. But you can grow them in pots, beds and borders, anywhere where the soil stays moist, because that's where they grow naturally. When I've seen ragged robin growing in the wild, quite often it's in quite boggy kind of wet fields, margins of sort of lakes and waterways and watercourses and so on. But it's easy. It doesn't demand any feeding, doesn't demand any particular attention. You just plant it, love it, leave it, deadhead after finished flowering, and just enjoy it year after year after year.
I'm just looking at it. You've got even more buds there ready to go.
Loads down there, Charlie. Yeah.
And so this could be flowering throughout the summer, I suppose.
On and off, yeah. It's going to flower for a long, long time. I mean, as you say, it's not giving up any time now.
No.
And if you cut the dead flower heads off when they're finished, low down at the base there, above a set of leaves.
Just to encourage more growth.
You might kind of, as you say, encourage it to flower again. In fact, look at you can see here, look, there's some shoots coming there.
Yeah,
and there's some little kind of nascent flower buds just in the tip of those shoots there. So this plant is nowhere near finishing flowering yet. You're going to get another good 4, 5, 6 weeks, I would say, eventually.
There's a romance to this kind of thing. There's something just so tranquil about looking at this, and I just love that pink. I mean, some people love your hot pinks, there's flowers for that, but this is a bubblegum pink. I know exactly, like candy flossy. It's so attractive. I mean, look at that photo behind it too. Just imagine that in your garden. All of these on the show, they're going to be statement pieces. £16.98 for 3 of them. So you can give one away, give one to your neighbours, maybe your father for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Just quickly before we move on, I'd tell you what that would look spectacular if you had dark-coloured fence, if you had a black fence.
Do you know what, actually?
I've seen those in front of that dark fence.
I actually painted my fence last year, and I went for like a goldy colour. I love it. But actually, the black, when you've got greenery behind it, when it's like a stormy, like a cloudy day, and you look up, you see the foliage from the trees against the dark. It's that kind of look. It looks brighter. It makes your colours pop even further. Yeah, lots of people are going for dark fences, Black's a really popular one. Anyway, but it's going to show these off no end. Right, 561335. Right, okay, are we looking at the food? Should we go for this?
Time to get fruity.
I think so. Why not? Well, you get 3 of these, and it's a lucky dip. It's a funny way to order, because what is guaranteed is the value for money here. They're going to look stunning, but I can't make decisions. I wouldn't know which ones to get. So the decision's been made for you, but you've got a variety, though.
You have. So you're going to get 3 in 9cm pots, soft fruit, 3 different soft fruit. So it could be one of It could be red currants. It could be black currants. It could be
I keep forgetting the
gooseberries.
hybrid. Yeah,
it could
gooseberries.
be tayberries. Gooseberries. It could be whatever. But
love a gooseberry.
Matt says gooseberries in our area an awful lot. This one, look at this plant here. I mean, look how good this one is. This one is this is a thornless blackberry, which is nice because you're not going to get prickled to death either.
Nice.
And you got that really good root. Look at that lovely rooty system there. It's a dark root. You can't see it so well, but lovely. Look at that. That's so well established, that root system. And it's good to have a thornless blackberry because then when the kids come to pick the blackberries, there's no tears and there's no scratches on the back of your arms.
Yeah, they can become.
And this one, and this is typical what we're going to send out to you. Look, there's already flower buds on here. So you're going to get some blackberries this year already on this plant. So it's up to you. I mean, sometimes people say, "Oh, take the fruit off in the first year, the flowers off, give strength to the plant." But you know what? Blackberries are tough. Go with it. If you've got flowers, go with them and enjoy your first thornless blackberries this year.
Yeah, why not?
Enjoy your black currants, whatever. I mean,
if they look ready, then you know when they are, don't you? When they're big, when they look juicy. And you mentioned if they just sort of come away, you shouldn't have to rest with them. If they just sort of,
if they just come away from that little bit in the middle called the receptacle, if the fruit just comes away from there, you know it's precisely right. And that's the problem. You see, I'm not dissing supermarkets here. Supermarkets can never leave soft fruit till that point because
by the time they sell them and
it'd just be juice.
I hadn't thought about that.
It would just be mushy juice in the bottom of the punnet.
Just almost a little bit premature.
Yeah, they've got to pick the fruit while it's still a little bit solid. And of course, at that point, it still hasn't got to the ultimate point where it's developed all the natural sugars, all the vitamins, all the minerals.
Which is why it can be a bit,
sometimes, So when you grow your own soft fruit, you can leave it to that exact moment when it's warmed by the sun, and then you can just pluck those fruit from those plants and you can do all those different things with it. You can eat it. Well, do you know what? If I grew these, probably most of the fruit would never get inside the house.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm like that with my tomatoes.
I eat them
before I get them indoors. And of course, so you're getting all the vitamins, you're getting the minerals, but then you've got that fruit. You can make preserves, you can make jams, you can make tarts, you can make flans, you can whip them up in a milkshake, you can put them on your Weetabix. Goodness me, all sorts of
imagine
things.
if you've got like barbecues, you can have like some strawberries and cream or whatever fruit you're going to get. Imagine saying we grew these in our own garden. You know, it's a wonderful thing. My family's got fruit, strawberry plants, and they love it. They're fascinated by these things, and I haven't had one yet because they keep going. But apparently they're so juicy, they're gorgeous, and but you rarely hear people who are disappointed with the flavour of their own homegrown fruit, and that's something that you can experience. It's the eating, yes, it's the looking after it, it's the guidance, it's the nurturing of the plants, but it's just the fun of picking. I know my nephew would love picking from these, and also he would love it.
And that point, Shadi, it's a brilliant point you kind of make there as well, because when you get to pick fruit at that point, you will get to taste like a red currant or a gooseberry at that precise point where it tastes as it should taste.
Optimal perfect point, yes. Yeah. Which I haven't experienced really, because I haven't got fruit trees. My dad loved growing tomatoes back in the day, but you know what? I remember having his tomatoes, and they were just fantastic. I'm sure he'll grow some more soon, but there's something about it. You can't compare them to ones in the supermarket, even the organic varieties you can buy. And I really want to experience that with fruit. So if you've never tried your own homegrown, well, it could be blackberries, could be strawberries, whichever ones are going to be, then look forward to that moment. And what a wonderful way to spend some time. Look, it's £12.74 for 3. It's brilliant. Delivered to your door for £12.72. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's so good. I love it. Right, okay, the next one we've got is this Askew. This is in my top 3 in the entire show.
They're great. These are perennials. So that basically means they come back for you year after year. And they're quite long-lived perennials. And all you need to do to keep them long-lived is, Gaura, like full sun, and they like really, really good drainage. That's the 2 most important things. If you give them that, they'll come back year after year, and they are one of the longest flowering summer perennials that you can grow.
Really? Wow. Okay.
We're in June now. These, once they're established, will flower through July, August, September, October. You can even get the odd few flowers still remaining in November. I mean, I'll be honest with you, the whole plant starts to look a bit dog-eared by November, because obviously the weather's got a bit inclement.
But even if you've got a bit then, anything...
it all helps, doesn't it?
to help,
anything to delay that kind of winter feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And all you need to do is just deadhead the main flower spike when it's finished. They'll keep producing these little side shoots. And this one's got these beautiful pink flowers with slightly kind of whiter colouring around the edge of the flower there as well. Lots of shoots coming further down, so lots of potential flower developing on these. You can grow them in beds and borders, gravel gardens, grow them on poor soil, by the way. Because if you grow these on too rich a soil, what you end up with is a lot of foliage at the expense of the flower. So if you can grow them on porous soils and stress the plant out, it will flower for you much, much better.
So I never thought about that, because you just think much composting goodness as you can, but actually...
Well, agapanthus that you're growing, they're the same. You know, if you spoil agapanthus, you spoil the flower, because they just throw out loads of those strappy leaves, and then they give you
a few... base, I've got loads of those.
And then they give you a few flowers. But if you stress an agapanthus, like if you stress a Gaura, i.e. put it in poor soil, in that really hot, dry, sunny place, then you end up with many, many more flowers, and the pollinating insects will adore these, and they're that really lovely sort of pretty pink colour. And those pink flowers contrast gorgeously with the dark stems and the foliage as well.
Yeah, the dark stems and the foliage, because even when it's not flowered, it's still going to look lovely. It really, really is. And, you know, it's just that lovely Mediterranean vibe. It's £12.72. Get this home. Try it. The Siskiyou. It's 560898. The next one we got. I think it's still the most popular item. A lot of people in the market for peace roses, and have been, well, for many years, for various different reasons. You know.
I think, kind of, you know, not to get heavy, but I think when you look at the news this morning and what's going on in the world, the word peace is something that really resonates, doesn't it? I mean, goodness me, we certainly do need some peace in this world.
Yeah,
and this is the whole reason this rose was named Peace, because it was being bred in France just before the Second World War. France realised it was going to be invaded. The breeders panicked. They thought they were going to lose this beautiful rose. They got cuttings sent off to America pretty much on the last flight out before the Nazis kind of closed France down and stopped people travelling. And other cuttings got spread out throughout the world. And thank goodness, thank the French, thank the breeders, we've got this Peace rose today. And also, it's one of the parent roses of so many modern sort of rose cultivars as well.
So this is responsible, thancefully, for lots of different varieties and species of rose.
And it is...
So what, hundreds potentially?
Oh, hundreds, many hundreds, to be honest. There's many hundreds of rose varieties out there now that would not exist if the Peace rose hadn't been their parent plant that they're crossbred from.
It's so fragile, isn't it?
It is.
At moments like that, it's just...
It can all change. But the Peace rose itself is, as I say, I think Matt said earlier on, as of 1993, it sold was 100
million or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
100 million.
100 million of these been sold.
And I think that's wonderful.
From various different portals and places.
Not just through us. No. It'd be nice if it was. But to think there's 100 million of these stunningly beautiful roses all dotted around the planet is gorgeous.
It's quite comforting, that. I like that. It kind of brings everything into a bit of unison, a bit of community spirit for that.
And it's got that story behind it that people can tell all the time, which is nice, because things are turbulent at the moment, but peace did break out, didn't it? And peace has stayed.
A symbol of hope.
A symbol of hope, yeah. And the rose itself is beautiful. Lovely hybrid tea rose, lovely huge great big rose flowers on top of the stem, and you've got the yellows, you've got the pinks, you've got all those beautiful colours in this one flower, and the flower colour changes as the flower ages as well. It's got healthy foliage. It can get to about a metre and a half tall. It's very disease resistant. It's repeat flowering, so it will keep flowering for you throughout the summer into autumn. And Peace rose will live a long, long time. And just one sort of little recap: when you get yours home, you'll notice at the bottom there's that sort of knuckly bit where the stems are coming out from. Make sure you plant that finally, between half and an inch below the soil level. That way you'll stop the suckers developing, and also it will help the rose to really root down and establish itself properly. And then in the winter time, when it's windy, it won't get what they call wind rock. It won't come loose at the base. So do that, and just enjoy many, many years of those stunning flowers, and just smile to yourself every time you walk past it, and just think, peace.
If you're going to pick one rose, it has to be that one. You haven't got to have a dedicated rose garden, even if that's the only rose you buy, then what a good choice for a number of reasons. And of course, today it's a very, very good price. You're saving good money. It's normally $29.99, usual price, £16.99. That's a brilliant, brilliant show price. But if you're in the club, you can get it home today today for £14.44. No postage of packaging, whether you're a club member or not. Just type in the code before you check out on YouGarden.com, YGTV2425, free postage of packaging. That's for all of the live deals we've got for you in the potting shed today. Right, we've got a few minutes left, just flown by, nearly 12:30. Right, compost. Now, I think this is on pretty much every show.
It is on
for
every
good
show.
reason. You know,
Yeah.
why do you think that is? Then? Why do people come back for more?
Do you know we ran out of this once on a show, and
that was a bad day.
We were mortified.
Yeah.
I mean, we were gobsmacked because it's almost never happened. And I don't like to run out of this compost either, because when I run out of this compost, I'm in a bit of a dilemma, because I don't want to go off and buy
bit of a fluster.
Yeah, I don't want to go and buy some naff compost from somewhere else, because
and it's not always cheap, that stuff.
No,
you know.
and it's because it's not going to give the results. But this is phenomenal. It's a peat reduced compost, and it has been for a long, long time. And even some of the peat we've used has been from renewable sphagnum moss peat. It's got composted wood fibre, and that's what's giving it this light, open, airy texture.
Feels aerated.
Yeah, it's letting the air get down to the roots. It's letting the water percolate through.
So it's composted wood fibres you got here, and I know you love this, and lots of our other experts. Sean loves this, of course, too. But we get so many good reviews. So many people come back for more. It feels like a little grower's secret.
It is,
you know, and it's nice to be in on this, because when just try it. You know, if you're spending lots of money on plants, trees, shrubs, whatever, give it a really good start. You know, because it can be not the cheapest of hobbies, gardening. It can take a lot of time, but that's the joy of it in my eyes. But maybe you haven't got a lot of time, then give it a really, really good start. If you're spending money on plants, then absolutely go for it. Don't settle for an inferior compost. Give your plants the nutrients that they truly deserve.
And this isn't the cheapest compost either. Yeah, we're very frank about that. You can buy cheaper compost, but you won't get those results.
No. If you can do it, go for it.
The thing that tickled me most that I ever saw about this was a gentleman who did a little trial with daffodils, and he grew daffodil bulbs in a rectangular bed, and he divided it down the middle, and the daffs one side had none of our compost.
Right, a little experiment. I like it.
And the daffs on the other side did. And even daffodils that you can grow on a washing line ordinarily, they reacted to it. The daffodils with the compost were taller, they were more yellow, the flowers were bigger, and I was like, whoa, I never knew. You could even get daffodils to kind of flower better. So all sorts of things. And I find if I've got a plant, I mean, I've had a couple of house plants that have been alien for a long time. I've repotted them into this compost, and within sort of 3 or 4 weeks, they get a new sort of zest for life. They get a kind of a new zip.
So not just for new plants,
no,
then?
just, I mean, if you're looking out in the garden now, have you got a rose in a pot in the garden? If you've got some shrubs in pots in the garden that, every year they look a bit yellow, they're kind of, they're not really growing, they look just really sad and tired. Take them out those pots, remove some of the old compost, replant them using our compost, and just watch. Take a picture on day 1, take a picture on week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and watch how the plant greens up, watch how the new shoots start to develop, watch how that plant suddenly gets that new vigour, that new lust for life. That's what this compost will do.
And who wouldn't want that for any single plant you've got? And look forward to the difference you're going to be seeing. It could be that intensity. It could be deeper blues. It could be brighter yellows. It could be bigger blooms, deeper green foliage. More flowering. Who knows? And it's just because of the compost. It could well be. Right. 2 50-litre bags here, and the difference you can get, and it's really down to what we can't see in the root systems. And I love this guide. That really makes it crystal clear.
That's your standard compost down at the bottom there.
So that's what we could be buying.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, that plant will grow, but it's not going to give you the results of the one with that wonderful fibrous root system. So it's got the wetting agent, it's got the slow release fertiliser, it's pH balanced, it's phenomenal.
It's all round, isn't it?
It arrives in these bags in a cardboard box for you.
Well, if your budget does allow for this, then go for it and look forward to seeing the difference that it's bound to give you. So 100125. Right now, the Phlox. This has been a huge success today. Thanks so much for joining us on YouGarden TV today. We've got a couple of minutes left. This is the Creeping Phlox collection. I mean, 12 plugs here for £12.73. That, you can't argue with that price, Adam, can you, really? It's remarkable.
They're amazing plants.
They are. Do you know what? The cannas, I tell you what, they've been popular too. You love the cannas. It's the foliage, the big gorgeous, dramatic leaves here, and that's the word you used earlier, drama. And we need that from, yes, the leaves, but the towering beauty of that colour. If you're looking for bursts of energy in your garden, some hot colours, and that's going to be right up your street, the cannas. But how about something classic, the lavender? You know what, the scents can vary, I think, with lavender, but the fragrance here, it's got such a presence. It really is, it's gorgeous. 12 plug plants for £12.73. You mentioned earlier what, spaced and what, about a foot?
Well, a foot apart, yeah, just to allow for that,
to
allow for that eventual growth.
Yeah. Nice, there you go. Right, how about this, the Sweet William Dianthus coronet, also been popular. That I could, can you just stare at that for ages? Some plants you look at and think, oh, very nice. These ones you want to pause and take a moment. Right, £14.43 for Dianthus, sorry. Right now, the Solias, the Australian bluebell. These are evergreen, aren't they?
They are, yeah, evergreen.
And you're going to get the beautiful bluebells here each year?
Yeah, every year, without doubt, yeah.
Every year, £12.74. They're just gorgeous. They're so charming, aren't they, bluebells? Again, it's another thing that people give a moment of time for. This is something I really couldn't wait to see. I looked at this last night. The pheasant berry, the golden lanterns. It's the contrast of colour. I think that one is impressive, Adam.
And that flower, I mean, that flower, how could you describe that to somebody who's never seen a flower like that before?
Yeah,
I mean,
it wouldn't be in one sentence, would it?
No, it's extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary.
The way it just faces down, it's the structure. Everything about this is just magnificent. You get so much interest from various different aspects. Brilliant value for money for £15.29. Right, talk about all these prices. If you want the lowest price, pay £10 to become a YouGarden discounted club member, because you get the lowest price. And also add in the code. You see these codes often on YouGarden TV. That gives you free postage of packaging on any of the items that we're seeing here live. So basically, if you go to the website, yougarden.com, click on live deals, scroll down, you'll see everything we've got out and more at really, really good deals. But, you know, it's been a brilliant show. Adam, you're on TikTok later this afternoon.
I am, yeah, looking forward to that this afternoon. So that'll be good.
1:30.
Yeah, 1:30, so we're going to have a quick turnaround. We're going to have a bite of lunch.
Yeah.
Lots more new plants, all sorts of offers and things. So, yeah, we'll see. I'll see you then.
Well, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank
Cheers,
you so
Charlie,
much.
enjoyed it.
We'll see you very, very soon. Thanks all again for your support. Hopefully see you soon. It's been a brilliant day. Happy Father's Day.